Their quarterback, specifically Haynes King, is a huge part of that. He can really throw it as well. What have you seen from him?
So he's so tough, right? And so we always say an offense takes on the personality of its quarterback, and so they're a tough offense because he's a tough guy, and certainly would have the respect of everybody in that locker room. It's obvious. Everyone knows in the stadium that he's going to run the ball when they get inside the 2-yard line, and for whatever reason, nobody can ever seem to stop it, which is a tribute to how hard he runs and how well they block for him. But if you just think it's run, and you get your eyes off of your keys, all of a sudden guys pop free in the passing game, and that's why their yards per attempt and yards per completion are really high throwing the ball. So it's a full challenge to get your eyes in the right spot and take away anything that's easy for him to execute.
For you guys offensively, Minson, the passing game's been rolling all year long. You look at ACC play, the running game has really come along. What do you like about the balance you guys have right now?
Yeah, it just makes it very difficult on a defense. And I think the two work hand in hand. I think when you establish that you can really throw the ball and people have to make some decisions about how they want to cover you, right? Because the game is decided by explosive plays. And if they want everyone to come up forward to stop the run, they know that we've got the skill to throw it over their head or down the field. And then if people start backing up, then you get more favorable run looks. And then while all that's going on schematically, the offensive line and tight ends are doing a heck of a job of opening holes for all of our backs.
Just a thought on Georgia Tech's defense, obviously a coordinator that you're very familiar with. They're third in the ACC in pass defense, but they have given up some yards against the run. What have you seen from them?
They haven't, but I think it's going to come down to, again, how are they going to choose to defend against us? They do a lot. They like to, mix up their blitzes. They do mix up their coverages, but everybody sort of plays us a wee bit differently than week to week. And so I think we'll do a good job of getting the game and making adjustments and just getting the ball in the hands of our top guys as we've done for the last few weeks.
And finally, Coach, I'll let you go on this. You look at ACC play. You guys have forced 11 turnovers. You haven't turned it over at all in these games, these high-level games. How important is it to protect the football as much as anything?
Yeah, ball security is always number one on the plan to win. But and I'll always reiterate, though, it's points off turnovers. You're probably not going to go a whole season with not turning the ball over. But the defense being excited about a sudden change opportunity, and then on the other side of it, when our defense does force a turnover, we've got to capitalize on that, especially against a team that likes to control the ball, taking advantage of short fields, either on turnovers or special teams big plays, has got to be a big point for our offense.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Good luck today.
Thank you. Hey, I'm Coach Manny Diaz with Duke Football. In football, preparation starts long before kickoff. By the time we get to game day, we are ready. If my players are injured, they need expert care fast. That's why we count on Duke Orthopedics for quick access to world-class care. And you can too. Whether you're cheering from the stands or tackling goals of your own, don't shoulder pain alone. Duke Orthopedics is ready when you are.
Orthopedic appointments within 48 hours. Duke Health is ready when you are. Visit DukeHealth48.com to schedule an orthopedic appointment.
Are you ready to show your Duke pride wherever you go? Visit shop.duke.edu, your one-stop online store for all things Duke. From the latest apparel to must-have accessories, Duke University Stores has it all. Whether you're a student, alumni, or fan, shop.duke.edu has something for everyone. Get your hands on exclusive Duke gear today. Shop conveniently online at shop.duke.edu, where real Duke fans shop.
This is Terry Moore.
Goes down the middle. It's intercepted. Deflected and picked up by Terry Moore.
And you're listening to Duke Football.
A smooth, close Barbasol shave in the morning lifts your confidence. That rich, creamy lather will catapult you to greatness. Nothing can stop you today. Well, except that traffic jam. Barbasol. It's a can of can-do.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
There was flames on that ball.
The speed.
35-40. There he goes. Down the sideline.
Mr. College Football.
For the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You can unhitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the bars. Back to the end zone. 30, 20. Say goodnight to this one.
This is the College Football Bliss. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
End zone shot. He's got it. Touchdown. Oh, he bobbled it, dropped it. It's a fumble. The Blue Devils have it.
Wow. How about
on that for the Blue Devils. Shepherds lose. Goodbye. 20-15. House call. Touchdown. Over the middle. Intercepted again. That'll do it.
Game time has arrived. Our live play-by-play coverage of Duke football is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. The Hilton Garden Inn, your home base near Duke University. Reed's Jewelers, your home for fine Swiss timepieces, beautiful diamonds, and the world's most luxurious jewelry brands. Reed's Jewelers, trusted with life's moments. Duke Health, official team doctors for Duke Athletics. Learn more at dukehealth.org. Barbasol, America's #1 shaving cream. Close Shave America, Close Shave Barbasol. The Washington Duke Inn and Golf Club, honoring tradition over trend for over 30 years. And by Aetna Medicare. Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th. Now with Dave Harding, here's the voice of the Blue Devils, David Shoemate.
And on a gorgeous mid-October afternoon, we welcome you to Wallace Wade Stadium, where today we have a monster showdown in the ACC. The Blue Devils are 4-2, 3-0 in the ACC. Georgia Tech comes in at 6-0, 3-0 as well, ranked number 12 in the latest AP poll. This is the 92nd meeting between these two. Duke, of course, looking to start ACC play 4-0 for the first time since 1994, and just the fourth time in program history. It's also two of the four remaining unbeatens in ACC play in a monster quarterback showdown. You can make a strong argument it's the two best in the ACC. Darian Mensah, his offense averaging better than 42 points a game in ACC play. That leads the FBS in conference games. Haynes King, of course, for Georgia Tech, leads a rushing attack, 238 yards per game on the ground. That's second in the league and 11th in the country. As we welcome you inside our perch, high top Brooks Field here at Wallace Wade Stadium, David Shoemate alongside Dave Harding. Dave, I know you've been chomping at the bit all week. The Blue Devils as well, ready to go for this one.
Yeah, well, they've had to wait even longer than a week. They coming off a bye week, 2 weeks to get ready for this one, and it's unique in that they got another open date next week. So this is a one-game season. You're going all in to get your fourth ACC win of the year.
The fascinating matchup we're going to be watching all afternoon long is this Duke defense that has been resurgent in the last few weeks. The 3-0 start to ACC play. They haven't allowed a point in the second half, and the run defense has really come along. They haven't allowed, they're averaging, I should say, less than 100 yards per game giving up in the run defense. And we talked with Aaron Hall, one of the starters along the defensive line, about one of the keys to the game. How do you handle the pre-snap motion for Georgia Tech?
It could definitely give confusion to the eyes, but I mean, this is what we come out here and work on every single day. Coach Diaz and his staff put harps on it a great amount, and so like I said, just making sure that we come out here, we communicate effectively while on the field and off the field, and just continue to do our job. That's something that'll kind of slow down the pre-snap motions for us.
They do throw a lot at you, the kitchen sink, so to speak. Pre-snap, try to get your eyes away from where the football is going. And what Aaron Hall is saying is you got to play your key. You got to be fundamentally sound in a game like this. Every defense has a responsibility. You got to be in your right gap. And more importantly, when you're there, you got to make sure that you're in the physical position to make a sound tackle.
A lot of talk coming in about the Georgia Tech run game, and certainly a good reason because of the success they've had. But the Blue Devil rushing attack has been pretty good of late as well, led by freshman Nate Shepard. He's now up to 447 yards on the ground. That leads all of FBS for freshmen. We asked him about how he got on the field so much, and he said it started with blocking.
Definitely with those early opportunities in games to pass block. Obviously you can't be out there if you can't pass pro, so that was a big part of my game that definitely needed improvement when I came in here. So I think just being able to prove that, and obviously that when I do have the ball in my hands, I can do something with it, that also helped.
Yeah, that is a piece of the running back position that a lot of people don't talk about, what you do when the ball's not in your hands. And he's done a good job of taking care of that. But, man, I mean, even if he was terrible at that side of things, with how explosive Nate Shepard is, when he gets into the open field, it'd be hard to keep him off of the field. He's so good and puts this offense in a great position with when you pair that with what Darian Mensah does from a passing perspective.
Just past noon here on the East Coast, about 5 minutes from kick. And while we have a moment, 10 seconds for station identification. This is Duke football from Learfield. All right, let's turn our attention to the keys to the game presented by DirecTV.
Well, the Blue Devils are going to, I think, have some success on offense. A lot of teams have against Georgia Tech, moving the ball up and down the field. The big key today is going to be having success in the red zone. The Yellow Jackets have one of the better scoring defenses in the conference. So they'll give up some plays over the middle of the field, but once things get a little bit tight in along the goal line, opposing teams have struggled to punch it in. Duke has to find a way to do that consistently today. Defensively, we hit on it a little bit in talking about Aaron Hall. There's a lot that you get that you have to sift through if you're a defender today. At the end of the day, though, you've got to make sure that you tackle well. When you're in a position to tackle Haynes King or any of the other ball carriers today, tackling on first contact will be paramount.
And those were your keys to the game, presented by DirecTV, a proud partner of Duke Athletics. Stream the Blue Devils satellite free on DirecTV. We mentioned this is the 92nd meeting between these two. Georgia Tech leads this series 55-35. There was one tie along the way. The Blue Devils have lost the last four. Their last win of the series came in this building in 2019 when they won it 41-23. It's Duke and Georgia Tech. We'll kick it off when you come back.
This week on Sports News, football's newest star ain't no rookie, it's DirecTV. They make it easy to find your pro and college teams across live TV and streaming apps so you never miss a moment. And with access to your game stats and scores in one place, it's good. DirecTV now includes ESPN Unlimited. Visit DirecTV.com today. DirecTV is a proud partner of Duke Athletics. Included premium apps may vary. Internet-connected Gemini device and separate subscriptions required. New residential customers auto-renews monthly. Cancel anytime. Equipment lease required. Unreturned device fees apply. Credit card and restrictions apply.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
This is Trey Freeman.
Batted, intercepted, picked off. It's Trey Freeman.
You're listening to Duke Football.
Since our doors first opened in 1988, the Washington Duke Inn and Golf Club has celebrated the contributions of its namesake, paying tribute to a life of community service and philanthropy. This is the cornerstone of our commitment to the Durham community. Duke family artifacts and photographs can be found throughout the hallways of the inn. Visit us as we continue to celebrate tradition over trend, as we have for more than 30 years. For reservations, visit us at WashingtonDukeInn.com. That's WashingtonDukeInn.com.
When you're on the move and looking for nonstop college sports action, get the Varsity Network app and take the game with you everywhere. Stream live play-by-play from schools across the country right from your phone, free. Catch hundreds of weekly podcasts, including shows from your favorite teams, all in one place. From football Saturdays to midweek hoops, it's your all-access pass to the college sports world. Whether it's game day or just your daily drive, the Varsity Network app has you covered. Download now and listen live for free on the Varsity Network app.
Welcome back to Wallace Wade Stadium for Duke versus 12th-ranked Georgia Tech. Blue Devils looking for their first win over a ranked team since they beat Clemson on this field Labor Day 2 years ago. And to get that done, they will likely need solid play at the linebacker spot, the one position group on this team that's probably faced the most adversity so far. They lost their emotional leader, Nick Morris, to a season-ending injury in the last home game to State, and they lost starter and Durham native Trey Freeman to injury in the first quarter of the last game at Cal. They've been without top reserve Kendall Johnson for a few games. Redshirt sophomore Luke Morgott and freshman Elliott Chopper both stepped up and filled in admirably. And today the outlook considerably brighter as both Freeman and Johnson appear poised to return. In fact, Freeman just introduced for the starting lineup. And so the Blue Devils looking forward to having a strong play from the linebacker core here today. Now let's turn it over to David Shumate, the voice of the Blue Devils.
All right, John, thank you. Certainly great news. And we're going to see some of those linebackers early as the Blue Devils won the toss, deferred, and Georgia Tech will have it first. The Blue Devil is going with the blue-black look today. The black helmets with the Hellraiser logo on the lids with Duke blue jerseys with white numerals and lettering and black pants here today. Meanwhile, for Georgia Tech, they're going to go with the Tech Gold helmets, Tech Gold pants, white jerseys, and Tech Gold numerals and lettering. The end zones look sharp as well. Gothic Techs, we got Duke to our left as we see things on the west side of the stadium, and Blue Devils to our right. And the Duke logo, the Iron Duke D at midfield, is blue trimmed in black. It's the only meeting this week in between unbeatens and ACC play. Only 4 are left in the conference. Someone's getting to 4-0 today. Great to have you with us. It's Todd Polino to kick it off. And away we go on a Saturday afternoon inside Wallace Wade Stadium, and Polino drives it to the end zone. A 21st touchback on 39 kickoffs this year, and we're going to see this Georgia Tech offense first. And Dave, defending the run, paramount when you're facing Georgia Tech.
It really is. They're so physical. They do it in a unique style, almost like an option where you never know where the ball is going to go. There's so much shift and motion pre-snap. It gets the defense a little bit confused, and then they run it right at you and are physical and tough to bring down.
Haynes King, the redshirt senior out of Longview, Texas, so talented. He's got some 440 yards rushing on the season. He's the quarterback, and he's 5th in the league in rushing, and he's alone in the backfield on first down. 5 split out wide to his left. Now Haynes will join him in the backfield. Quick throw to the left. The Blue Devils blow it up. Weaver into the backfield, and it's a loss of 2 to get it started. And the ball came out at the end. Are they going to say he was down or it's a fumble? The officials unpiling, I think for the moment they're saying he was down. Luke Mergat came out of there with the football, so we'll see if they take a peek.
They may want to. He kind of fell on top of Weaver. Couldn't tell if he got an elbow down, but his lower body didn't look like it made contact with the ground before the ball came out.
And there's an injured player for Georgia Tech. That's Rutherford, the redshirt senior at Miami. He was the one who caught the ball and was doubled over. And that is a big piece of their passing attack that is headed to the sideline, as we're keeping an eye to see maybe there's something for the officials to look at in terms of the fumble. And I think one of the discussions was for progress rule, or was it that he was down?
The ruling on the field is the runner's forward progress was stopped. The previous play is under review.
Well, now when they say forward progress was stopped, I think it's harder to overturn, but they're going to take a look at this, and as they do, 25 seconds in, you got to shave with an early game. This Close Shave Instant Replay is brought to you by Barbasol Shaving Cream. Barbasol Shaving Cream. Why pay more for gels when Barbasol delivers an instant thick lather for a close, comfortable shave? Choose Barbasol, a quality shave and a trusted value. Dave, what do you think? You should take a peek.
I think he's down. I think I'm just getting another look here. I think his knee is down regardless of forward progress.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Second down.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. Part of the reason why Rutherford came out of the game and is potentially injured is because his knee got planted underneath Weaver and his body was being contorted over the top. And the factor there is why he was able to be ruled down before the fumble.
Blue Devils tied for 4th in the country with 51 tackles for loss coming in, now 52. And it's 2nd down and 12 for Georgia Tech. Here's King to throw. Backpedals, fires over the middle, got it complete. On a diving attempt, it's out to the 36-yard line, and that is a first down for Georgia Tech as the catch was made by Jordan Allen, the freshman out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. That's his 2nd catch of the season, and it's good for 13 and a first down for the Yellow Jackets.
You got Allen one-on-one with Deshaun Stone. The safety just had a difficult job of moving in space with the receiver.
Mosley, the tailback, peels out to the right. The Blue Devils jump offside, or was there a false start? There was pre-snap movement. Justin Elliott is our ACC referee today, and now there's a conversation amongst the officials.
Yeah, Rutledge, the right guard, jumped.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And he is, by some measure, Dave, I think, their best offensive lineman. He's only allowed 1 pressure and no sacks in 397 snaps this year, according to Pro Football Focus.
No question. Very physical, strong hands, moves defenders away from where they're trying to get to. He's a very good offensive lineman.
You know, they won in overtime over in Winston-Salem against Wake Forest, but one of their problems was these pre-snap penalties that got him in difficult down and distance. And now here's 1st and 15 as Haynes is in the backfield running circles around King, and he'll get the carry running straight ahead. The Blue Devils read it well, and he's got a yard or so out to the 32-yard line. The tackle made by Wesley Williams. Give you the starters up front. Anthony and Williams, so dynamic. The last time out, they combined for 6.5 tackles for loss and some 3 sacks. Aaron Hall and Josiah Green in the middle of this Blue Devil defense. Luke Mergat got the start opposite Trey Freeman. Good to see the graduate student from Durham back out there to start this one. Of course, Jaden Francois is the star. Rivers, Stone, Weaver, and Robinson in the secondary. King alone in the backfield for the moment. We'll watch the pre-snap motion. He will throw. Little shoulder shake, looking down the middle, not there. Goes for the dump off in the flat, and it's caught. 35-40 and out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Goes Bailey Stockton, the redshirt sophomore out of Bogart, Georgia. It'll bring up third down and a little more than 3. They need the 46 for a first down.
That was all Haynes King. Tried to get him on the pump fake. He noticed that the defense had it well covered, so just goes to his check down in the flat. The Blue Devils did a good job of taking away the deep threat, but gave up some pretty big yardage underneath.
A little more than 2 minutes gone here in the opening quarter. A chance for the Blue Devils to get off the field on third down. Georgia Tech on the year, 47% on third down. The Blue Devil defense gives them up at a 44% clip. Here's King to run to the right, trying to get outside. Tripped up, falls forward. I don't think he got it. Just shy of the 45-yard line. It'll be 4th and a yard. We'll see if they go for it. They do that a lot. 8 times this year they've gone for it on fourth down. Rivers made the tackle. Georgia Tech 3 of 8 on fourth down this season. They're trying to line up quickly. Looks like they will go for it. They need a yard. King from the shotgun. Slap of the hands. Anthony jumped offside. Free play. Are they going to blow it dead? We'll see. They're going to blow it dead. Was it offsides or a false start? I think VJ got an early start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Offside. Defense, number 7. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
And not good that you jumped offside, but maybe somewhat fortunate they didn't get a free play there, Dave, that the officials blew it dead. But it is a first down for Georgia Tech via the penalty, and for both sides, to be fair, a little bit of a choppy start with the whistles here 3 minutes in. Georgia Tech with the initial drive of the football game. Haynes is the tailback. He is to the left of Haynes King. And in motion comes Bailey Stockton. The handoff is straight ahead, and Preston Watson stacks them up after a yard, and that's all to the Blue Devil 49-yard line. As here comes the 7th play of the drive upcoming, something we talked about with head coach Manny Diaz yesterday, Dave, coming into this game. You almost have to treat each set of downs like its own game. Georgia Tech is going to pick up some first downs, but you got to wipe that off and get ready for the next set of downs. And a nice job there after the penalty on fourth down to get up, make a tackle, make it 2nd and 9.
And Manny Diaz also said they're going to rotate players in because of that. These drives can take a long time. See Kendall Johnson in.
Hosley gets it on a toss, running left this time, pursued and dropped again. It's Weaver again. A loss of 3 back to the Georgia Tech 48-yard line. Caleb Weaver, the graduate student out of Houston, the grad transfer from Sam Houston State, flying to the football.
Yeah, making an impact early, and Weaver's identification of some of these outside plays to the perimeter is great. And once he sees it, he's getting and closing ground very quickly. And what is he doing? One of the keys to the game, tackling well in the open field. Form tackle.
And now a true passing down for Georgia Tech. They're still in the huddle. Play clock's at 9 and 8. They might need a timeout. Brent Key walking towards the official. It's down to 5 and 4. Hosley's to the right. Timeout, Georgia Tech. With 10:30 to play here in the opening quarter, we're going to take it as well. They're looking at 3rd and 12. Scoreless just underway when you come back to Durham.
Calling all tailgaters, partygoers, party throwers, and excited Duke Blue Devil fans. Southern Harvest Catering has all your catering needs covered for the big game or that important party. As a preferred caterer of Duke Athletics, Southern Harvest Catering has the know-how and delicious food to make your event the very best it can be. Owned by Duke alumnus Tom Meyer, Southern Harvest Catering has been supporting Duke Athletics for 20 years and feeding Duke fans all over the Triangle. Call them at 919-413-7180 or visit online at southernharvestcatering.com. Go Duke!
It's time for the annual Team Impact All-In 5K. Join Team Impact on October 19th and help support their mission to create a world where every child facing serious illness and disability feels supported by something bigger, and every collegiate team is transformed by a greater purpose. Remember, there's no wrong way to 5K. Run, walk, or roll a 5K in your neighborhood, at your local college campus, or join one of Team Impact's hub locations. Join the movement to get all kids in the game. Team Impact. All in, all together. Learn more at teamimpact.org/all-in5K.
Back inside Wallace Wade Stadium, 10:30 to play in the opening quarter. We are scoreless between Duke and Georgia Tech. The Blue Devil defense trying to get a stop on Georgia Tech's first set of downs. They're looking at 3rd and 12 off their own 48. Is Georgia Tech after burning a timeout. And today's game between Duke and Georgia Tech is presented by Google Fiber. Google Fiber is now live with up to 8 gigs. No nonsense, just great internet. Google Fiber, the fastest internet in North Carolina. David Schumate alongside Dave Harding, John Roth, down on the field. John Rose, our producer and engineer. And back inside our network studios is Jeff Hamlin. Evan Jackson is our spotter here this afternoon, Dave. And Georgia Tech will run it off of any down and distance. So I say that as a preface, but this is a down and distance they are not terribly comfortable with. This is not a team, particularly now that Rutherford hasn't reappeared since that initial injury, that is not built to drop back and throw the football.
Well, we were talking to Manny Diaz and Jonathan Packey, the defensive coordinator, this week. They said you got to win on first and second down against this group. Force them into third down positions where, as you just said, they're an offense that's not built to do the true quarterback drop-back passing game to find receivers open down the field. Often their first and second down runs put them in a position to where they could potentially even run the ball on third down. And it's not ever out of the question even here. You got Haynes King, who's a great athlete, could get a quarterback draw or something like that dialed up, but absolutely right where the Duke defense wants them in terms of third down and long.
How much does the area of the field matter in that? And in terms of if they can get 7 or 8 yards, they may go for it on fourth down, and that obviously affects the play caller.
Yeah, I think anytime that you're on the positive side of the 50-yard line going in, you're a little bit more inclined to be taking some risks. So this definitely applies here. Ball just short of the 50. So if they can pick up some positive yardage, it could be a green light for Haynes King.
Although I'm sure the defense coordinator, Blake Gideon, who actually played for Manny Diaz when he was the defensive coordinator in Texas, takes note of 97 and 7 going out there for this third down pass rush opportunity. Talking about Wesley Williams and VJ Anthony. Hosley's the tailback. He's offset to the right of Haynes King out of the shotgun. 3rd and 12. They need the Blue 40 for a first down. A long look to the sideline. Now they snap it quickly. And Haynes King, pump fake, steps to run. Across midfield, chase down by Mercado and dropped at the 47-yard line. So they tried to catch the Blue Devils snapping. They defend it well in the secondary. It's only a pickup of 5, and here comes the punting unit for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, they tried to get Duke sleeping in terms of they started to look off to the sideline like they were going to check with the offensive play caller, and then snapped it. Duke was ready. They ran down the field, great coverage, and then Mergat, another perfect example of a tackle in a one-on-one situation, getting the ball carrier down.
Nichols a punt, high, end over end. Barkay back to try to field it at his 10. Lets it hit at the 3, and it takes a Georgia Tech hop, and we'll die there. Kind of heady play by Barkay because Georgia Tech defenders were gathering around him. He was going to let it go over his head, but the Blue Devils will set up shop 97 yards away as we see Darian Mensah and this offense go back to work. The redshirt sophomore quarterback out of San Luis Obispo, California. He's just been so good. 143 completions. That's second in the ACC. 1,838 yards. That's second as well. Tied for first with 15 passing touchdowns. The completion percentage just shy of 70%. And Dave, all of those numbers are better in conference play.
Yeah, he has been phenomenal and taking care of the football, picking his timing. When he wants to take a shot deep, he'll take a shot underneath as well, not too greedy. Playing great football.
Off the right hash, moving right to left as we see things on the west side of the stadium off their own 3. It'll be a throw on first down. To the right, he's got Barkay. First down and more. 25-30. Down the right sideline. Stays in bounds. Oh, they say he stepped out just beyond the 40. Otherwise, it would have been a 97-yard house call. Now Georgia Tech defender running after him to knock the ball loose, but the officials had blown it dead, they say, back at the 38. But it's still a pickup of 35.
RPO action. The Blue Devils have a run play called, but it's up to Mensah to decide if the numbers favor the Blue Devils on the outside. It did. It's a one-on-one situation with Barkay and a safety, Powell Lee. He breaks through the tackle and rumbles down the field.
And on first down, breathing room for Mensah at his own 38. Here's the snap, quick throw to left. Barkay again, gets a block 40. Another at the 45, and he's out of bounds at his own 46-yard line. Nearly 8 on first down. 6 minutes in. Scoreless, the Blue Devils with their first touch, but they've nearly reached midfield. Jai Gilmore with the tackle. Worth noting, this Georgia Tech defense playing without one of their starting corners. Amari Harvey out after leaving the Virginia Tech game a week ago. Game they won 35-20 with a lower body injury, so they are trying some new pieces in the secondary, including Zachary Toby. As we see a pistol set here on second down and 3. A handoff to Shepard running right. Room up the middle. First down across midfield. Still on his feet. And he'll take it to the Georgia Tech 49-yard line for a pickup of 6.
Great blocking on a simple stretch play. The Blue Devils brought in 2 tight ends. one on each side of the formation, and turns into a man-on-man blocking scheme all the way across the board. That offensive front getting the win, physically pushing Georgia Tech backward.
Yeah, E.J. Lightsey, one of the linebackers, credited with the tackle, but they never did get him on the ground. 7 minutes gone in the opening quarter. The Blue Devils have crossed midfield, a drive that started back at their own 3-yard line. Scoreless here at Wallace Wade Stadium. And here is Mensah from the shotgun. The snap, the give to Shepard. Going to break a tackle. Cannot on the right. Spins back to the middle and still got a yard or so to the 48-yard line, but defended well. Clayton Powell-Lee, the senior out of Atlanta, credited with the tackle. Meanwhile, Pickett saying hello to a few guys in the secondary. The talented right guard. Give you the starters up front. Left to right, Bruno Fina, Jordan Larson, Matt Craycraft, Justin Pickett, and Brian Parker. That familiar trio at wideout, Quayshawn Brown, Samir Higgins, Cooper Barcade, and Hazley got the start as the tight end. We see Anderson Castle in there for 2nd and 9. He's to the left of Mensah. And in motion comes Brown left to right on the wide side of the field on the left. Here's the snap. Mensah to throw. Pressure comes. Screen set up to the left. Blocked beautifully. Brown inside the 45. Down to the 40. And a yard shy of another first down. Heck of a play call for Jonathan Brewer. Georgia Tech brought pressure. And now it's 3rd and a yard.
Brought pressure. You release the left guard and center Craycraft and Larson down the field behind that pressure to have some blocks to get up underneath.
At the line quickly, a give to Castle, straight ahead, and he's got just enough for the first down inside the 39-yard line. Needed a yard, he got it, and a fresh set of downs as we will under 7 minutes to play in the opening quarter. No score. The Blue Devils' first drive that started back at their own 3 has reached the Georgia Tech 39.
And they're doing it with a good mix of run and pass, David. We've seen explosive plays to Barcade, good ground game, whether that's Shepard or Castle in the backfield.
Speaking of Shepard, he's back out there to the right of Mensah. A little bit offset him to the right and a step or two behind. Mensah's ready. And from the shotgun, here's the snap. Wants to throw, rolls to the right. Looking downfield, fires, got Barcade again. Inside the 20 and down to the 19-yard line. A pickup of 20, and the Blue Devils are in the red zone.
Designed rollout pass for Mensah, and they try to flood the right side of the defense with receivers. Numerous levels, and Barcade springs open. Mensah hits him perfectly.
As we will under 6 minutes to play in the opening quarter. They've reached the Georgia Tech 19. Mensah to throw to the right. Quick throw. It's caught by Barcade. What an opening series for him. And he's down to the 10-yard line with a pickup of 9.
Oh, the identification by Mensah there to see the corner blitz off the outside. So a safety has to fill over the top. You get a one-on-one situation again with Barcade. Why not take it? As you said, he's been great to start this game.
2nd and a yard off the Yellow Jacket 10. Scoreless in the opening quarter. The Blue Devils' first drive. 5.5 minutes to go in it. Mensah to the line, getting everybody organized.
This is where Georgia Tech's good at defense.
And from the shotgun, here's the snap. The give to Shepard. He's got a first down and tunnels his way down to the 6-yard line. Worth noting, this is a Georgia Tech defense that has not allowed a point in the opening quarter of conference games this year. The Blue Devils knocking on the door, 1st and goal off the 6 on what will be the 10th play of the drive with 5 minutes to go in this opening quarter.
Yeah, they're very much a bend, don't break style group. You can see offenses move the ball up and down the field. They just have a hard time punching it in, especially, as you said, in the first quarter.
Extra offensive lineman in with Bradley Smith. He's on the right side of the formation. Hazley over there as well. Castle's the tailback. Pistol set right behind Mensah. And from the shotgun, we're ready. Here's the snap. A give to Castle. Right side. Castle lowers the shoulder, and he's down inside the 1, where it'll be 2nd and goal. I want to run that play again, no?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was a thing of beauty. Bringing in Bradley Smith, as you said, he's a tight end on the right side. He blew up the defender, threw him into the end zone.
And bring in another tight end, right? Higgins is going to be the lone wideout. Jake Taylor joins the party, and we'll see where everybody lines up. Taylor's on the left side of the formation. Smith's over there this time, and Hazley's on the right side. 2nd and goal off the 1. The Blue Devils hunting the early lead. And from the shotgun, here's the snap. A give to Castle. Oh, Mensah dropped it in the backfield, trying to get back on it. It's scooped up by Georgia Tech, and now it's a foot race to the other end. The Blue Devils with their first turnover in ACC play, and it's going to turn into a Georgia Tech touchdown. Omar Daniels able to scoop it up in the backfield and take it some 94 yards for the touchdown.
We said that's where Georgia Tech's good. In the red zone, they're very difficult to score on. And the unfortunate thing is, it's a Duke mistake. Just a bad handoff in the backfield. Whether Mensah was going to keep it or give it to Castle. Ball falls onto the ground. Mensah tried to get back on top of it, but couldn't do enough. And the Yellow Jackets turn the momentum back on their side.
And here is Burr for the extra point. Kind of an odd formation. They went for 2 a week ago against Virginia Tech early. A more traditional point after formation now. A little bit of a low snap, but Burr able to boot it through. And it's Georgia Tech that's on the board first. Let's take a break. 3:46 to go in the opening quarter. Blue Devils trail at 7-0.
This party's getting crazy. Are those mini horses? And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar? Heads up! Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs. Okay, now it's a party.
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Are you ready to show your Duke pride wherever you go? Visit shop.duke.edu, your one-stop online store for all things Duke. From the latest apparel to must-have accessories, Duke University Stores has it all. Whether you're a student, alumni, or fan, shop.duke.edu has something for everyone. Get your hands on exclusive Duke gear today. Shop conveniently online at shop.duke.edu, where real Duke fans shop.
Today's game against Georgia Tech is presented by Google Fiber. Google Fiber is now live with up to 8 gigs. No nonsense, just great internet. Google Fiber, the fastest internet in North Carolina.
Late in the first quarter, Duke and Georgia Tech and Durham, and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets strike first, a 7-0 lead on a long fumble return. With 2 teams undefeated in the ACC going head-to-head, would not be a shocker to see a late-game special teams play figure in this outcome. Let's meet the key Blue Devil specialists today.
Curtis Cooper, long snapper, graduate student, Huntsville, Alabama.
Cade Reynoldson, punter, sophomore, Gold Coast, Australia.
Todd Polino, kicker, senior, Cornelius, North Carolina.
Polino, the former walk-on, is in his 4th year as the place kicker, now ranks as the number 2 scorer in Duke history. His next field goal will be the 50th of his career, and if Duke needs a long one, he's a perfect 4 for 4 from 50 yards more for his career. Reynoldson, last year a freshman All-American from Australia, only had to punt 16 times in the first 6 games this year, but he saw 9 of them down inside the 20, and he's averaged over 43 yards per kick. And Curtis Cooper, now in his 5th year as a highly regarded long snapper, is on the watch list for the National Long Snapper of the Year Award, which is the Patrick Manley Award. It's named for a former Duke standout who had an illustrious pro career as a snapper for the Chicago Bears. And with Duke down 7-0 and 3:46 to go in the first quarter, we turn it back over to the voice of the Blue Devils, David Shoemate.
All right, John, thank you very much. As we remind you, the Blue Devil football is brought to you in part by Coca-Cola. Passionate fans and an ice cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. Well, Dave, obviously disappointment with the turnover, the first for the Blue Devils since that game down in New Orleans. And Georgia Tech officially goes 95 yards with Daniels for the score. But glass half full, the offense going back to work, and they were very efficient moving the football down the field.
They were. It's hard to get over that 95-yard return, about as bad as it gets. You'd be fine, not fine, but it would hurt enough to give away a fumble on the 5-yard line, but at least that would have forced Georgia Tech to have to drive the field again. If there is a benefit, I think, yes, the offense looked good, and secondly, you give your defense even more rest and opportunity to make some adjustments.
Samir Hagans and Jaden Moore back deep to return the kickoff. Drifting to his right is Hagans. He'll let it go into the end zone, and the Blue Devils will start at their 25-yard line when we come back. 3:46 to play in the opening quarter. The Blue Devils trail is 7-0.
Think about the last time you moved. Remember how you said you'd never do it alone again? We know moving is tough, but at 2 Men and a Truck, we make it easy. No matter the move, big or small, we'll make it a smooth one. We're the movers who care, and we'll prove it with our 96% referral rate and courteous background check movers. We're local and affordable. We can help at a price that won't make you wish you'd done it on your own. When you're ready, give us a call or find us online for a free estimate at 2menandatruck.com.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the top college athletic programs for the 2025-26 college athletic season? Check out the criteria and follow the year-long standings of your favorite team at L Directors Cup on the X platform or online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2026 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. The Learfield Directors Cup, powered by NACDA, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Back here inside Wallace Wade Stadium, 3:46 to play in the opening quarter. Georgia Tech is on the board first. The Blue Devils trail at 7-0. A 95-yard fumble return from Omar Daniels is how they got their early score. Don't forget, you can listen to all things college sports, including live games and talk on SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84, and streaming on the SiriusXM app. We appreciate those of you listening on SiriusXM Channel 193 today and across the entire Blue Devil Sports Network and on the Varsity Network app. Well, this offense, led by Jonathan Brewer, the offense coordinator, going back to work now, trailing by a touchdown. What has really surged over the last 3 games has been their rushing attack, averaging nearly 127 yards per game. And we asked the OC what he's seen from that phase of their offense.
For us, we are a running football team. If you can establish a run, it opens up everything else and makes things a lot easier for everybody else on the perimeter. And obviously, Nate Shepard and AC and Jaquez have been, they're a three-headed monster. And each one of them presents a different type of run game that can happen, and so it's been, to have those 3 guys rotate in has been extremely blissful for us.
Yeah, it certainly has, and we saw the impact of the run game on that opening drive with the RPO. We saw Darian Mensah choose to throw it to the perimeter out to Barkate. You get one-on-one situations because teams like Georgia Tech feel like they've got to stack more people along the line of scrimmage to take away that effective run threat. It's funny to hear Coach Brewer say that they're a running offense. Yes, they are. I think he's trying to be an explosive offense, whether that's running or passing, and that's been their calling card to success over the past couple of weeks. And today, outside of that one turnover, they've picked right back up where they left off and being explosive, big plays, and finding a way to get it done both on the ground and through the air.
It's funny in ACC play, the Blue Devils are 3-0, and most of the scores have been lopsided, but it hasn't always been a straight line to get there. They trailed by double digits against NC State and against California early. I say that because I know it's a devastating mental hurdle to get off that fumble, turnover, run back, but it feels like this team has really toughened up mentally. They've been tough all year long, but even more so the last few weeks. They're not easily rattled when something goes wrong early.
No, they're not. It'd be even tougher to come off of that if you had come out and not had success on that opening drive. You know what I mean? They know that they can move the ball on this group. So let's come back out, do it again, and again, punch it into the end zone this time, limit mistakes.
1st and 10 off their own 25-yard line. Pistol set. Shepard's the tailback right behind Mensah. And from the shotgun, here's the snap. Play fake. Rolling to the right. Mensah looking downfield for Barkay. Underneath instead for Hazley. 30 and 34-yard line with a pickup of 9. Jeremiah with his 10th catch of the season. And now he's got some 82 yards receiving. Jonathan Brewer just gushes about him, David, anytime we meet with him.
He can do it all, David. He can block. He can run routes. There, they use him as a decoy like he's going to block, and then he snuck out the backside.
2nd and a yard. Mensah to throw again. This time to the left. It's Barkay. Has room on the right. 40-45. Barkay across midfield and down to the Georgia Tech 47, making the 46-yard line. The blocking in space has been simply outstanding. That's a pickup of 20.
Landon King absolutely leveled a defender, the safety out on the perimeter to spring that one for some extra yardage. You're right. Duke is winning the physical battle, especially on the perimeter.
We roll under 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. The Blue Devils already over 100 yards of offense as they're at the Georgia Tech 46. The Yellow Jackets substituting here late. The officials giving them time, although give them credit. Not like watching Illinois. They're actually running off the field.
They hustled.
Play clock's at 5 and 4. Here's the snap. Mensah to throw. Backpedals looking down the middle. Has all day taking a shot up top for King and double coverage. It's incomplete at the goal line. He nearly brought that in amongst 2 defenders. I think it Andrell Anthony that was down there trying to win the foot race. Either way, it falls incomplete at 2nd and 10.
Yeah, a good shot play on 1st down. You had the look that you wanted. It's pretty well defended into double coverage, but protected well. he had plenty of time to set it up and go give your really talented receiver, Anthony, a chance to go make a touchdown.
So now 2nd and 10 off the Georgia Tech 46. Shepard, the tailback, right behind Mensah. In motion comes Hagens right to left. The give is to Shepard through the middle. 45, banging off tacklers down close to the 41-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5. The Blue Devils have converted their only 3rd down opportunity. They're 5th in the league at 45%. Georgia Tech gives up conversions at a 35% clip, and now we got a timeout for an injured Georgia Tech player on the edge. Is that potentially Zachary Toby?
It is.
He was the one that was out there in relief of Harvey opposite Shelley. It's a secondary with some depth. They've kind of rebuilt it out of the transfer portal, but that depth is thinning out quickly. And you hope that Toby's okay. Junior out of Florida. They've got Daquan White, a transfer from Eastern Michigan as well. But as we told you, Amari Harvey, perhaps their top cover corner, is going to be out for a few weeks after dealing with an ankle injury, and now Toby's to his feet and headed to the sideline, but gingerly so, Dave.
We've seen Duke attacking the perimeter. That's a big reason why. They're without Harvey. Now Toby's injured. Things go from bad to worse, and it's not like this secondary is going against average threat on the outside. These Duke receivers are the real deal and put you in some serious conflict positions. Have to make a play on 3rd down here if Duke wants to stay on the field, though.
So is Mensah, who's 7 of 8 for 108 yards here early. Goodness. Against the 3rd best pass defense in the ACC that only gives up just shy of 189 yards per game through the year. Mensah will have Shepard to his right, Barcade, Hagens, and Brown over on the right side of the formation. And the tight end on the left side, now Hagens will be joined on the left side. So 2 either side, and here's Mensah from the shotgun to throw. Great protection again. A couple of pump fakes to the sideline. It's Shepard trying to tiptoe his way down towards the 1st down, but they're going to say his back foot went out beyond the 40. So now it's 4th and a little more than 4, and we'll see what Manny Diaz does here. Did he go out?
I think he did.
Yeah, he did.
It's a good spot. Unfortunate, just an inch away from the perimeter.
Blue Devils are 7 of 10 on 4th down today. And Hazley will come in. Leaving is Taylor. And Georgia Tech answers. The Blue Devils aren't going to be able to get a snap off. They're looking to the sideline. Play clock's at 10 and 9, and we're ready to go. Now it's down to 6 and 5. Hazley in motion to the right side of the formation. Down to 2. Here's Mensah. Here's the snap. They will go. Has time. Looking downfield. Fires. And it's caught by Hagens. Juggled. Hauled it in at the 29-yard line. They roll the dice and they move the sticks.
Georgia Tech brought all sorts of pressure, and it was beautifully picked up by the offensive line, tight end and running back.
Could have been PI, too.
You had one-on-one down the field. Just give Samir Hagens a chance.
Quickly to the line, 40 seconds to go in the quarter, down by a touchdown, but driving. Mensah to the left, wide open. Hagens again, out of bounds at the 19-yard line with a pickup of 10 and likely another 1st down. White there in coverage. They're picking on the new guy on the field. They're going to say just shy of the 1st down, so call it 2nd in a foot or so. They don't have to snap it if they don't want to. About a half-second differential play clock to game clock. And the Blue Devils looking to the sideline. We'll see if they do run another play. Mensah waits. Looks over the defense. Looks like he's ready. On 2nd and less than a yard. Here is the snap. A give to Shepard. Dancing. Looking outside right. And stretching back to the 20. Lost half a yard. So 3rd and 1 coming up as we head to the 2nd quarter. The Blue Devils, in many respects, have dominated this football game. But because of a 95-yard fumble return at the end of one, they trail it by a touchdown, 7-0. But they're driving when you come back to Durham.
This week on Sports News, football's newest star ain't no rookie. It's DirecTV. They make it easy to find your pro and college teams across live TV and streaming apps, so you never miss a moment. And with access to your game stats and scores in one place, it's good. DirecTV now includes ESPN Unlimited. Visit DirecTV.com today. DirecTV is a proud partner of Duke Athletics. Included premium apps may vary. Internet-connected Gemini device and separate subscriptions required. New residential customers auto-renews monthly. Cancel anytime. Equipment lease required. Unreturned device fees apply. Credit card and restrictions apply.
Hey, I'm Coach Manny Diaz with Duke Football. In football, preparation starts long before kickoff. By the time we get to game day, we are ready. If my players are injured, they need expert care fast. That's why we count on Duke Orthopedics for quick access to world-class care. And you can too. Whether you're cheering from the stands or tackling goals of your own, don't shoulder pain alone. Duke Orthopedics is ready when you are.
Orthopedic appointments within 48 hours. Duke Health is ready when you are. Visit DukeHealth48.com to schedule an orthopedic appointment.
Welcome back to Wallace Wade Stadium. Duke and number 12 Georgia Tech, battle of unbeatens in the ACC, and Georgia Tech has the early lead as we move from the first quarter to the second quarter. Duke's offense dominated in that first quarter with 147 total yards. They had one drive that went from their own 3 to the Georgia Tech 1. Unfortunately, a fumble. Georgia Tech returned 95 yards for the only score of the game, and right now Blue Devils on the march again. They're inside or down to the Georgia Tech 20 on a nice drive. So far, the big weapon for the Blue Devil offense has been wide receiver Cooper Barkate. 6 catches for 91 yards in the first quarter alone. As we resume play, it'll be Duke with a 3rd and 1 on the 20. Second quarter getting ready to start, David.
All right, John, thank you very much. Today's game between Duke and Georgia Tech is presented by Google Fiber. Google Fiber is now live with up to 8 gigs. No nonsense, just great internet. Google Fiber, the fastest internet in North Carolina. You just heard from John Roth down on the field. Dave Harding is to my right up here in the booth. John Rose, our producer and engineer. Evan Jackson is our spotter. And Jeff Hamlin keeping track of things along the scoreboard back inside our network studios. It's been a wild start to the ACC weekend already. Miami, number 2 in the country, goes down at home last night. 4 interceptions for Carson Beck as Louisville picks up the win on the road. And then Cal forces a late turnover. They beat North Carolina in the late night affair out in Berkeley. Some intriguing matchups still to come. SMU's at Clemson. Dave, the ACC, topsy-turvy right now.
Topsy-turvy, but what I see is the door's wide open for Duke to make a move on it, especially now that Miami's taken a loss. We were talking in the pregame show, a win against a team like Georgia Tech, who's also undefeated in conference play. You know that's really good. It's going to pick up wins the rest of the way, almost act as double in your bid to get to Charlotte. And then you talk about topsy-turvy. The one consistent theme is that the team that turns the ball over loses. Mm-hmm. You know, Carson Beck's 4 interceptions. We had a turnover for Carolina on the opening series, and then obviously on the final series of the game, they turn the ball over as they're going in. Duke struggling with turnovers today. Not able to come away with anything on a drive all the way down the field. The first time they touched it, get to the 5-yard line, and not only do you cough it up, but it results in a touchdown for Georgia Tech. Blue Devils have some work to do, but most importantly, got to take care of the football. Hard to win games in this conference if you don't.
They'll flip it around, go left to right as we see things on the west side of the stadium here in the second quarter. 3rd and 1 coming up off the Yellow Jacket 20-yard line. The one benefit, if there is one, of that turnover that didn't score is you kind of get the back-to-back possessions. And the Blue Devils have had the football for 9 minutes and 43 seconds already. 3rd and 1, Georgia Tech substituting late. Mensah from the shotgun ready. A give to Castle straight ahead. First down and more. Still moving the pile towards the 15-yard line. They're going to say he put a knee down at the 16. But the Blue Devils are in the red zone for the second time today. Coming in, these last 3 games, they've been really good in the red zone. 12 of 13, 10 of those for touchdowns, of course, didn't convert today, and one of those they only miss in the red zone. Kind of a crazy statistical quirk. They took knees late in the game against Cal, and that counts as a missed scoring opportunity in the red zone. They were actually perfect when they wanted to be a week ago. As it is, they trail here by a touchdown, 30 seconds into the second quarter, but threatening. Officially, they put it down at the 17-yard line. 1st and 10 for Darian Mensah. He will throw again, rolling to the right. Pressure comes. Escapes from that. Still looking downfield. Fires. Getting a foot in downs, I think, was Hagens. Yes, at the 12-yard line for a pickup of 5 on first down. Goodness. Thank goodness it was Saturday, not Sunday, right? Able to get 1 foot down along the sideline. That's all you need in college. Clayton Powell-Lee there in coverage.
Yeah, good pickup on first down. Blue Devils bring Anderson Castle back on at running back. What a luxury he is. When you need a couple yards, 1 or 2, hand it off. And we saw that on the conversion to get this first down.
Second down and 5 off the Yellow Jacket 12. Castle to the left of Mensah. And from the shotgun, we're ready. Bunch formation to the left. Here's the snap. Mensah to throw in that direction. A little pump fake. End zone over the middle for Taylor. And he couldn't bring it in. About 8 feet into the end zone. Good coverage for Georgia Tech. And now you're looking at third down and 5. Daquan White covering the tight end.
White did a good job of making up some ground after Taylor beat him off the snap to get some separation. There was some contact, but I think it's a good no call by the officiating crew. Just well defended.
Third down and 5 off the 12. They can get a first down inside the Yellow Jacket 7. Shepard's the tailback. He will line up to the left of Darian Mensah. Hazley, the tight end, is on the right side of the formation. Just offset from Brian Parker. And from the shotgun, here is the snap. Mensah will throw, looks to the left, fires, end zone shot, a lot of hand fighting, and I do not see a flag. He was trying to get it to Andrell Anthony. And on fourth down, we're going to see the field goal unit. And this is what you talked about, Dave. Georgia Tech going up in the red zone.
Yeah, back-to-back drives. Blue Devils knocking on the door inside the 15-yard line and can't get it in.
There was some tugging on the jersey and the Boo Birds out here at Wallace Wade Stadium as the officials let him play on the outside. And now here is Polino, who's 8 of 12 this season. This will be from just inside 30 on the right hash. Reynoldson will hold it. Cooper will snap it. Good snap, good hold. And, they couldn't get the kickoff, and now Reynoldson in jail is going to be hauled down back at the 33-yard line. A second trip into the red zone that goes for naught.
The ball carrier's forward progress was stopped. First down.
The Blue Devils now with 165 yards of offense and nothing to show for it. Let's take a break. 13:24 to play in the first half. They trail at 7-0.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Aw, shucks. The game's on TV, but I can't listen to the call of my favorite team broadcasters.
Never fear. Sync My Game is here.
Sync My Game?
Yes, Sync My Game. If you have a DVR and streaming device, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield. It's never been easier to hear the impassioned voices of your favorite radio crew synced with the TV.
Wow, thank you, Mr.
Just remember, syncmygame.com.
13:24 to play in the first half. The Blue Devils down by a touchdown, 7-0. Be sure to check out the latest edition of Duke All Access with head coach Manny Diaz each Friday at noon on the FanDuel Sports Network. The FanDuel Sports Network is your home for your home teams. Watch all the big hits, big shots, big goals, all in one place. For coverage of Blue Devils athletics, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Charlotte Hornets, visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com today and watch all season long. David Schmidt alongside Dave Harding, John Roth down on the field, John Rose, our producer and engineer, Evan Jackson is our spotter, and back inside our network studios is Jeff Hamlin. Two really good-looking drives for this Blue Devil offense. One ended with a turnover that went back 95 yards for Daniels, the safety for Georgia Tech. That's how they got their lone touchdown. And most recently, a long march that stalled inside the 20, and then it looked like Reynoldson couldn't handle the snap cleanly from Cooper, and by the time Polino was nearby, just nowhere near enough time to get the kickoff. And Dave's self-inflicted wounds have been the story for the Blue Devils here early in this one.
I don't think I've ever seen a game where a team dominates the play on the field, and they're, as well as Duke has on offense and defense, and yet they're down still a touchdown. They've got nothing to show for it offensively. The defense has actually played well, and somehow there are points on the board for the Yellow Jackets. If there's a part to be really concerned about, David, you look back to the two losses that Duke had earlier in the season to Illinois and Tulane. Special teams and turnovers were a huge issue in those games. And to this point in the ball game, through the first quarter and change, that's been the story. Special teams, miscue, and turnover.
Hopefully they got both of them out of their system, because it was turnovers against Illinois in the kicking game against Tulane, a scoop of each, and now we can move on and get to the second quarter of the season, as the Blue Devil defense will be called upon here. 1st and 10 for Georgia Tech. They say Reynolds, in scored progress, was stopped at the 25-yard line, so that's where Georgia Tech will have it 1st and 10. And we see Hosley, the tailback, in a pistol set behind King. He will get the carry, running right, more traditional run formation, and not much doing. Nice tackle by Murgat after a pickup of a little more than 3. Rivers came over to help as well. They'll give him progress now to the 29-yard line, so call it a pickup of 4. Hosley, a week ago, ran for 129 yards on just 11 carries against Virginia Tech. He's averaging just shy of 9 yards per carry on the season. He was the Ivy League Player of the Year a year ago, the transfer from Penn. And on 2nd and 6, he is to the right of Haynes King. And from the shotgun, here is the snap. King wants to throw. Pressure comes. Green after him, kind of shovels it to the right. Murgat there, and Hosley's going down for a loss. Back to the 27-yard line. Really give Josiah Green all the credit. Just blew up the timing on the play.
Yeah, great penetration right up the middle that forced Haynes King to roll to his right a little bit, and that threw everything off with the pitch. Duke's defense is tackling well, too, David. When they're in position to make a play, they've brought the ball carrier down.
They say officially down at the 28, so call it 3rd and 7. Extra corner in Callahan as Francois comes off for 3rd and long. And here is Haynes King to throw. Here comes pressure off the edge. Man, looked like a hole. Just throws it to the sideline. Incomplete. It'll be 4th down. And the Blue Devil defense comes up with a 3 and out.
Looked like a hold. Goodness gracious. The left tackle absolutely dragged VJ Anthony down.
I'm trying to do better.
I mean, gosh, that made me sick.
And Kendall Johnson, one of those injured guys, got in the backfield, just blew it up, and what a nice response for this Duke defense.
Huge response.
As we see Quayshawn Brown back to return the punt this time, standing at his own 25-yard line. And Nichols to get it away. Does. Not a great kick. To the sideline and out of bounds. We'll see where they spot it. Should be beyond the 30-yard line. They're racing up towards the 35, and that's where the Blue Devils will have it 1st and 10 when we come back. 12:07 to play in the second quarter. They trail it 7-0.
Fall is in season at Kohl's, and you know what that means. Pumpkins, plaid, and anything that smells like cinnamon. This week, take an extra 20% off decor, home furnishings, bedding, and more. So whether fall is your entire personality or you're just a casual pumpkin enthusiast, the deals at Kohl's are here for your seasonal style. Select styles, some exclusions apply. 20% offer ends October 19th. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Today's game against Georgia Tech is presented by Google Fiber. Google Fiber is now live with up to 8 gigs. No nonsense, just great internet. Google Fiber, the fastest internet in North Carolina.
Jeff Hamlin back with you from the Learfield Network studios. Midway through the second quarter at Alumni Stadium, Connecticut has the lead on BC 14-6, the score, with the Huskies in the lead. And UConn has only defeated Boston College once and has never defeated them in Alumni Stadium. Meanwhile, in Nashville, number 10 LSU leads number 17 Vanderbilt 10-7. That's with 11 minutes remaining in the first half, just underway. Number 14 Oklahoma scored on its first drive in Columbia. They lead South Carolina 7-0, 5 minutes into the game. Dave will send it back to you in Durham.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Well, how would you like to be able to listen to us while synced up to your TV in the comfort of your own home? Go to syncmygame.com, syncmygame.com, to find out how very valuable we need it on both aspects. If you weren't with us in the pregame show, the guys were talking with Vice President, Director of Athletics, Nina King, about TV ratings and how important they are to the revenue side of things. So TV on, audio off, radio broadcast up, right? syncmygame.com.
That's the only way to do it.
It's my favorite way to have you on the broadcast.
100% muted. How much did you have to slip John Rose, the engineer, to mute my mic there?
You got to do what you got to do.
No, Sync My Game. That's how I listened to you and Terrell Smith 2 weeks ago over in Berkeley, and John
Smitty
Rahm.
would have preferred mine to be muted every now and then so he could get a word.
Well, I did text John Rose. I said, any way we can turn the play-by-play guy down just a little bit? But there were some big plays that you were excited about.
Only because you took the shot.
Cal.
Rose was in camera the night before.
Oh, that's right. That's why he didn't respond. I was wondering. We were both asleep by the second half. I'm kidding.
Meanwhile, this Blue Devil offense, it's been going up and down the field trying to find some points. 12:07 to play in the first half, trailing 7-0. Dave, if you don't look at the score, you think, okay, a couple of touchdowns maybe.
Either way, if you're just watching this game on a play-by-play basis, Duke is absolutely dominating the Yellow Jackets.
Georgia Tech has 31 yards of offense so far. That's it.
It's really 2 plays are the difference. Missed field goal and a fumble.
Anderson Castle will be the tailback to start this set of downs in a pistol set. Behind Darian Mensah, he gets the carry running right. Just a bruising hit as he crossed the 36 to the 37-yard line with a pickup of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Eford and Lightsey, the 2 linebackers combining on the stop.
Eford, although he plays for the Yellow Jackets, one of my favorite players.
You're a neck roll guy.
Neck roll. He just looks the part, doesn't he? Number 44 in there.
Can an offensive lineman wear a neck roll? How does that work?
I think you can. It's just a little more cumbersome because you're in a 3-point stance.
2nd down and 8. From the shotgun, here's Mensah. The snap, a give to Castle through the left side. 40, 1st down and more. Castle showing off the moves. He's across midfield to the Georgia Tech 48-yard line. How about 6 foot, 215, putting a foot in the ground and shaking somebody in the secondary?
Yeah, he's more than just a bruiser. He'll get you worked in the open field.
To the line quickly. Here he comes again, this time outside right. Castle tripped up as he got to the 47-yard line. Nice tackle in space by Kamen Spaulding, the transfer from Tennessee Tech.
Okay, maybe doesn't have the speed to run around the side of the defense, but up the gut, got great physicality and a little shiftiness to get a safety to miss.
4 minutes gone in the second quarter, clock rolling. The Blue Devils down 7-0. They've yet to punt, turned it over in the red zone, and the kicking operation, a misplayed snap, have kept them off the scoreboard, but the offense has looked really good here so far. From the shotgun, here's Mensah with Castle to his left. Here's the snap. He will throw against a 4-man rush all day again. Now time winding down, and now he sacks all the way back at the 41-yard line. His helmet came off as well, so he's going to have to come out for a play. They're going to say forward progress was stopped at the 44-yard line. Given the circumstance, 3rd and 17, Henry Beelan comes in. I was thinking maybe Manny Diaz burns a timeout to get his quarterback back in there. But no, it'll be Henry Beelan on 3rd down and 17 yards to go, needing the Georgia Tech 38-yard line. Play clock's under 20. They might need a timeout just because of that. And if you use the timeout, you can get Darian Mensah back in. Play clock's down to 10 now. Castle, the tailback, is to the right of Henry Beelan. Now it's down to 3, 2, 1. Here's the snap. Beelan will throw. Flags fly before the snap. And a false start.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It's Bruno Fina, and unfortunately the penalty doesn't change the circumstance to where Mensah can go back in. I think Manny Diaz is asking that question right now. Or no, well, Mensah's trying to, but the officials say no. Yeah, you got to run a play.
I would burn the timeout.
Well, I was wondering if 3rd and 22 changes that calculus as they wind the clock here.
Just low probability of conversion regardless.
Maybe more useful to have that timeout for later in the half, but we'll see. They need to take it all the way to the Georgia Tech 38-yard line. Castle's to the left of Beelan, 2 wideouts to either side. And here comes Quayshawn Brown in motion right to the left. And from the shotgun, here's the snap. They'll give it to Castle. Nope, Beelan will keep it running left, and he's across the 45, still on his feet, across midfield and down to the 49-yard line. So he got 11 of it back, but still 11 to go, and the punting unit will come out for the first time today.
It was good pressure by Georgia Tech's front on the sack. Working over the left guard, it was Bradley Smith in there. Gave up a little pressure. Well covered down the field, and one of the few times that you see Darian Mensah come down for a big loss. That's the difference in stymieing this drive.
Bradford and Hoffler, the 2 guys that combine on the sack, as Reynoldson is set to boot it away. End over end, angles it to the right, racing up to try to make the play is Stockton, and he'll make the catch at the 18-yard line. So let's take a break. 9 minutes to go in the first half. The Blue Devils trail Georgia Tech 7-0.
Do you have questions about Medicare? Let us help. Aetna has Medicare Advantage plans that include prescription drug coverage with a $0 monthly plan premium. Plus, plans include benefits for your whole health, like dental, vision, and hearing. Call Aetna today at 1-888-76-AETNA to learn more. There's no obligation to enroll. One of our licensed agents will answer your call and help you pick the right plan for you. Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. Our D-SNPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area.
No one gets you closer to the game than Sirius XM College Sports Radio.
For the win! Got it! Let's go!
Tune in for news, talk, and analysis from the offseason through regular season and into the postseason. We've got your team covered anywhere you go.
Deep to center field! Oh, it's gone!
Get a free trial at SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 2025.
9 minutes to play in the second quarter. The Blue Devils trail by a touchdown, 7-0. And if you're on the go and want to stay connected to live college sports anywhere in the country, download the free Varsity Network app, available on Apple and Android. With new features this season, it's easier than ever to listen live and keep up with your favorite teams. Don't miss a moment. Get the Varsity Network app now. As we drift past 1 o'clock here on the East Coast, while we have a moment, 10 seconds for station identification. This is Duke football from Learfield. Well, with 9 minutes to go in the half, the Blue Devils trail at 7-0 total yardage, 163-31. Not the way you would think. That's favoring the Blue Devils. Georgia Tech has not done much offensively. Their lone score came on a 95-yard fumble return by Omar Daniels. And Georgia Tech, though, back to work offensively at their own 18-yard line. When we get back to action, Haynes King so far, 3 of 4 for 20 yards through the air, but only 8 yards on the ground. They've only got 11 yards rushing so far. Jonathan Packey's defense has looked awfully good, and they're going to be called upon again here.
What a strange flow to this game. This is Georgia Tech's third possession of the game.
It shows you how important special teams and turnovers are, because I think every other box has an emphatic check mark in the Blue Devils' favor right now. But
that'll erase all of it.
Yeah, it just shows. Like I always say, sometimes it's a really complex game, sometimes it's a really simple game. As we see Georgia Tech off their own 18-yard line, and this Blue Devil defense that has been so proficient in taking the football away, 11 takeaways in ACC play, would love to get one here. Because it does feel all that momentum of going up and down the field offensively has stalled a little bit here midway through the second quarter.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure right now on this Duke defense. You feel like they've got to get off the field and not let up another touchdown.
Georgia Tech getting repositioned offensively before the snap. They do that just about every time. Haynes is to the right of Haynes King, and he'll get the carry running left. He's met by Robinson, but spun off the tackle and out of bounds at the 21-yard line with a pickup of 3. The Blue Devils are doing a nice job of getting into the backfield and disrupting things early. Weaver with the stop there, and it'll be 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, they have, and that's one of the few times we've seen a Georgia Tech ball carrier evade the first tackle. Duke has been very good at tackling.
This time they send Haynes wide to the right side of the field. Haynes King will throw back to the left. It's a little screen set up, and Robinson and Weaver will send the Georgia Tech player out of bounds at the 27-yard line. That is Isaiah Canyon, the sophomore out of Warner Robins, Georgia, and will bring up 3rd down and 1. Georgia Tech on 3rd down today, 0 for 3, but this is the down and distance where normally they have so much success.
They get penetration here along the defensive line.
We approach 8 minutes to play in the second quarter. The Blue Devils down by a touchdown, 7-0. Georgia Tech huddling right behind the line of scrimmage. Now they break it. And from under center, it'll be Haynes King. And he will give it to the H-back, and spinning is Hosley, and he's going to have a first down across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Did the ball come out at the end? The Blue Devils trying to rip it out of there. They say no, and a first down for Georgia Tech. And now we'll have 7.5 minutes to go in the second quarter, and a 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets on their first 3rd down conversion of the day. And Haynes King alone in the backfield. I venture to say he won't be by the time they snap it. We'll see some pre-snap motion, I bet. As they go off the left hash, going right to left here in the second quarter. I'm wrong. He's going to throw to the right. Screen set up. The Blue Devils read it well. And another tackle for loss. Back around the 30-yard line. Chandler Rivers read that one as they got into the arms of Eric Rivers, the transfer from FIU. They're going to stay right at the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
And the reason they stuck with that look is they had 3 receivers to just 2 defensive backs for Duke on that side of the field. But Rivers blows through the blocker and makes a great tackle.
2nd and 10. King to throw. Has some time. Steps to the left. Fires over the middle. Got it complete. And it's a first down out to the 44-yard line of Georgia Tech. Callahan in on the tackle. The catch made by Eric Rivers, the redshirt senior out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And we'll approach 6.5 minutes to play in our first half. Blue Devils down 7-0, and Georgia Tech approaching midfield. There's some fresh guys coming in along the defensive line. Haynes is the tailback. He's to the left of Haynes King. And from the shotgun, here's the snap. The give to Jamal Haynes, running right. Hall couldn't get him down. Watson rips him down shy midfield. They're going to give him forward progress out to midfield, and it's a pickup of 6 to set up 2nd and 4. And this is, Dave, this methodical rushing attack for Georgia Tech on full display right now.
It is, and just enough passing where you've got to respect it. We saw the drag route for the first down a few plays ago.
On 2nd and 4, heavy slaps to the hands for Haynes King, and now a long look to the sideline. Hosley's the tailback. He's to the right of King. Play clock, plenty of time, down to 10 and 9 now. Here's the snap. The give running left. Hosley trying to turn the corner, spun around and dropped a yard shy of the first down, just beyond the Blue Devil 47-yard line. 3rd and a little more than a yard coming up. Mekhi Jones made the tackle. Big bodies coming in. 2 tight ends, Byrne and Beetham.
Duke's doing a great job on the perimeter of the defense, getting around blockers outside. Any of these outside runs getting gobbled up quickly because he can't sustain blocks.
3rd and a little more than a yard. Hosley tailback. Here's the snap. He will get the carries. Met in the hole, and Mercat drops him for a loss back to the 49-yard line. My goodness, what a pop for the redshirt sophomore out of Berlin, Maryland.
Mercat blitzing right up the A-gap, sidesteps the right guard. Rutledge, who's their best blocker, can't get a hand on him and blows the play up.
And because of the loss of 3, Georgia Tech will punt. And it'll be Barkay back to field it inside his own 10 with under 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, and Duke trailing by touchdown. That is an awfully big play in the football game.
Huge.
Nichols is the punter. End over end. This one drifting to the left and drifting towards the end zone, and it'll get there. And the Blue Devils will start at their own 20-yard line with 4:26 to play in a first half. Statistically, from a yardage standpoint, they've controlled things, 163-64, but desperately needing to find the scoreboard here before halftime, trailing by a touchdown. They will have the football to start the third quarter. I say that, Dave, more psychologically. When you play so well, it feels like you want the payoff.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think this is a frustrated group yet for Duke. You know, you've just got to tweak a few things, finish a little bit better, and you're right back into this ball game. Not that you're not in the game now, but you're right back. You're pushing for the lead.
Here's Shepard to the right of Darian Mensah. And from the shotgun, we're ready to go off the 20. Here's the snap. Rolls to the right. Looking downfield, steps inside, throws it to the sideline. Barkay got close enough to where there wouldn't be a grounding call, but it is incomplete. And it's 2nd down and 10. What'd you say? Nobody open downfield?
Oh, I saw good pressure by Georgia Tech. They did some stunts along the line of scrimmage and got a hat out to Mensah to apply some pressure. He couldn't get comfortable enough to throw the football.
Their starting nose tackle, Kello Stone's been out since the Wake Forest game when he left with an injury. Jordan Vanderberg, the tackle, actually played for Manny Diaz at Penn State. He's lined up over Pickett, the right guard, here on 2nd and 10. It'll be an inside handoff for for Shepard, as he moves the pile out to the 25-yard line. Got half of what they needed there. It'll be 3rd and 5 as we approach 4 minutes to play in the half. And Blue Devils down 7-0. They've been good on 3rd down today. 2 of 5, 40%. They need to take it out to their own 30. 1 wide on the left side of the formation, 2 on the right. Brown and Barkay. Mensah ready from the shotgun. And here's the snap. They bring pressure, doesn't get home. Surveys, trying to escape now. Backpedals inside his own 10, trying to get away. He did for a moment. Still trying to get away at the 10. Launches upfield for Barkey. It's a first down to the 45-yard line. Oh, Mensa kept it alive, and they move the sticks.
Mensa looked like he was going to get sacked. Defensive lineman around his ankles. He's able somehow to get out of that the whole time, keeping his eyes down the field, and Barkate sneaks open along the Duke sideline. Perfect strike for a first down.
20 more for Cooper Barkate. Is over 100 yards on the game. 6 for 111. And now here's a handoff to Shepard. Cuts left. Flag flies on the near side of the field. And Shepard's just shy of midfield. And now we'll check the marker. The head linesman threw it. And the initial signal is what? With 3:09 to play here in the first half. And the Blue Devils down by a touchdown.
I don't know if you're going to get a legal formation. Too many men in the backfield.
Conversation going.
Looks
like they're pointing in Georgia Tech's direction.
Yeah.
Here's Justin Elliott.
Offside. Defense, number 24. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Toronto triple at the end. And, of course, you take the penalty even though you got a little more than 5 on the carry because it's 1st and 5 now. Off of midfield with 3:09 to play in the half. And, of course, this offense has been so proficient scoring in the last 2 minutes. I think it's the last 220 of the last 5 games. They've got 6 touchdowns. Remarkable. In terms of the first half and the way they've ended things, as Landon King will come in and Quayshawn Brown will head out.
And that's so much more important given the fact that you get the football to start the second half too, David. You have that double-up opportunity.
Of guys to protect on the right side. Wouldn't be surprised to see a shot play here. Here's the snap. Heavy play action. Mensa steps to the right. Fires. King couldn't hold on at the 29-yard line. And Darian Mensa knew he had one downfield, Dave. I also think if he ran, he was easily going to have a first down.
Easily. And then some. He had about 15 yards before the nearest defender.
But you can do that on 1st and 5, and now here is 2nd and 5.
Georgia Tech was pretty well prepared for that.
2:38 to play in the first half. The Blue Devils down by a touchdown. The only score, 95-yard fumble return for Georgia Tech. 7-0 our score. Here's a handoff. Looking for space on the right. Shepard found it. First down across the 45 and down to the 41-yard line. Dave, you don't normally see that kind of patience from a true freshman running back.
You don't. He just waits for the defense to declare where they're going. The linebackers get a little impatient. They get bunched up, and then Shepard bounces it to the outside. How about the physicality to finish that run, too? Lowering the shoulder and knocking the defender over.
They don't have to snap it before the 2-minute timeout if they don't want to, and it doesn't look like they will. Trailing 7-0. 1st and 10 for Georgia Tech at the 41-yard line. Coming up after the 2 minutes.
Timeout.
I need more energy from you.
2-minute timeout.
It's been a long first half.
Let's take a break. Blue Devils driving down by a touchdown.
Since our doors first opened in 1988, the Washington Duke Inn and Golf Club has celebrated the contributions of its namesake, paying tribute to a life of community service and philanthropy. This is the cornerstone of our commitment to the Durham community. Duke family artifacts and photographs can be found throughout the hallways of the inn. Visit us as we continue to celebrate tradition over trend, as we have for more than 30 years. For reservations, visit us at WashingtonDukeInn.com. That's WashingtonDukeInn.com.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
There was flames on that ball.
The speed.
35-40. There he goes. Down the sideline.
Western College football.
For the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You can unhitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the bars. Back to the end zone. 30, 20.
This is the College Football Bliss. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
Inside Wallace Wade Stadium, 2 minutes to play in our first half. The Blue Devils trail it here at home, 7-0, but they have it 1st and 10 off the Georgia Tech 41 when we get back to action. And Duke football is brought to you in part by Google Fiber. Google Fiber is now live with up to 8 gigs, no nonsense, just great internet. Google Fiber, the fastest internet in North Carolina. David Shumate alongside Dave Harding, John Roth, hanging out down on the sideline. It's chilly to start the day. It's nice and warm now in the 70s. Beautiful sunshine. I see a few clouds hanging out over downtown as we look out at things from here on the west west side of the stadium. Evan Jackson is our spotter. John Rose, our producer and engineer. Back inside our network studios is Jeff Hamlin. Great crowd on hand here at Wallace Wade Stadium. Family weekend, parents weekend, so a lot of friends and family on hand. The Devil's Deck is popping too. They must have saw the menu that was out. So some pulled pork.
Yeah, they added a
mac and cheese.
Premium food option down there.
Happy that you're hanging out with us.
I'm going to have to run here in about 2 minutes exactly of game time to get out there. You know what I was thinking about the other day? John Roth used to do a food report from every stadium we went to. I have to bring that one back. Because the best part was he'd find a way to take care of us and send a sample up to the booth.
So you're really not looking out for John there or the listening public.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
I'm all for that. I particularly remember those barbecue parfaits.
Ooh.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we got to bring those back.
John, we see those covered tents, so to speak, that hang out over the benches. How warm is it down on the field? Certainly nothing like we saw against Illinois, but not nearly as chilly as it was when we started the day.
No, it's a warm day here. I'd say it's probably, mid-70s, 75 or so. Not really any breeze. There's a slight breeze, but I'd say it's fairly comfortable for me, but I don't have like 30 pounds of equipment on me either, so.
Tell you what needs to be hot is this Duke offense. They got to score.
Nice pivot.
Got to score here. 2 minutes. An opportunity, like we were just talking about, to double up on the scoreboard. You get the ball to start the second half. Your defense has been playing incredibly well.
You see Quayshawn Brown, Samir Higgins, and Jake Taylor, the three guys on the left side of the formation, on the wide side of the field. Cooper Barkade alone on the short side of the field to the right as Littles are driving left to right here in the second quarter. Shepard, the tailback, offset of Mensa to the left and about 2 yards behind him. Now here comes Taylor in motion. He'll line up behind Feen on the left side of the offensive line. Here's the snap. Quick throw to the right. Barkade's got it again. He is having a whale of an afternoon. He's inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. His 7th catch. And it'll bring up second down and about 3.
Georgia Tech's got some problems in the secondary. Duke has attacked the perimeter a lot to start the day.
They're almost conceding 6 yards on the outside.
Being so conservative. They don't want to give up the deep ball.
As we see a bunch formation now to the right. Shepard, the tailback, to the right of Mensa. And here's the snap. Shepard will run up the middle, trying to get outside left, and he's brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Dave, if I think he cut right, he might still be running.
It's a great tackle. Great tackle in the middle of the field by Mitchell. He got off the block of Jake Taylor, the tight end, and if he didn't make the tackle, that's to the house.
So 3rd down and 3 coming up. Likely 4-down territory with 90 seconds to play here in the second quarter, trailing by a touchdown. Mensa walks to the line of scrimmage. Blue Devils have all 3 of their timeouts if they need them. Play clock's down to 9 and 8. And from the shotgun, here's the snap. Mensa will throw, looking over the middle. In the pocket, fires. Taylor bobbled it once, twice. Still caught it! And he's got a first down at the 31-yard line. Oh! Taylor showing off the hands. Tipped it to himself, over the defender, and moves the sticks.
I've never seen anything like it. He tipped it over the defender, Mitchell, and caught it again.
And now the Blue Devils go quickly. Handoff running right. Flag flies before the snap. We'll see what this is about. Georgia Tech was substituting late, and the head linesman over for a word with our referee, Justin Elliott. Long conversation.
There is no foul. The game was stopped to review the ruling of the catch.
Okay.
Why throw the flag?
So they're going to go look. And we're going to remind you that all of our replay reviews are brought to you by Barbasol Shaving Cream. This Close Shave Instant Replay is brought to you by Barbasol Shaving Cream. Barbasol Shaving Cream. Why pay more for gels when Barbasol delivers an instant thick lather for a close, comfortable shave? Choose Barbasol, a quality shave and a trusted value. Taking a peek to see if Taylor did indeed catch it. As we get a second peek, got that right hand underneath it, 2 arms on the football. He went to the ground, so you got to maintain it as you go to the ground. And I don't think there's any question that's a catch. What do you see?
Yeah, I see the same thing. It's a crazy play.
Maybe
it took him about
look at it a little bit more.
Yeah, it took about 15 yards to catch the ball after he made first contact. And the fact that he was able to regain possession after going past the defender. It's definitely not how you drew it up, but a remarkable play nonetheless.
The other thing I'm wondering that they may be looking at as well is the spot as his right knee goes down. I think he's got enough for the first down. Moves right at the 31 is what they needed. And here's the referee.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. It's first down. Please reset the game clock to 1:09. It will start on my signal.
So they give you the time back.
Fluky play.
3 timeouts. And the other thing,
You'll take it.
There.
Please reset the play clock to 40 seconds.
New rule, upheld versus overturned is all you're going to get. There is no confirmed or stands. First and 10 off the 31-yard line. The officials look like they're ready to play. The Littles are still kind of huddling up on the near side of the field to break that pretty quickly. As they're trying to get a look at the defensive personnel for Georgia Tech, I believe. But now they're ready to go. They'll bring out Nate Shepard, the tailback. You got Quayshawn Brown and Cooper Barkett on the right side of the formation, on the wide side of the field as they operate off the left hash, and Samir Hagens alone on the left. First and 10 off the Georgia Tech 31, trailing 7-0 as they wind the clock and we approach a minute to play in the half. Mensah from the shotgun. Takes the snap. He will throw. Great protection in the pocket. Underneath, caught. It's Shepard inside the 25. Had to dance around the umpire who goes flying. You hope he's okay. And they're down to the 22-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd and 2. And it looks like the umpire's back to his feet and doing okay. Clock rolling. 44 seconds to play in the half. Here's the snap. A give to Shepard running right, and he's got the first down to the 20-yard line exactly. They'll stop the clock to move the chains with 33 seconds to play in the half. You may want to burn a timeout here just because you got 3 if you need them, and Manny Diaz will do exactly that. Just calm everything down, look things over.
Timeout. Duke.
Our umpire, by the way, Danny Worrell, showing some toughness in there, Dave. He got hit pretty good, and he didn't have pads on, and now they're going to come over and make sure he's all right. All of his brethren coming over to make sure he's okay as they stay about 15, 20 yards away from the action, and he's in the thick of it.
I think he got a taste of this beautiful-looking grass out here, too. He base planted right into the turf. Man, the grounds crew did a phenomenal job getting this field looking tip-top shape, didn't they, David?
Yeah, it's immaculate. I mean, with the Gothic-looking text, Duke to our left, Blue Devils to our right.
That's the first time
at 35.
We've changed it up, I think, too, right?
Yeah,
it's usually
different in each side.
Yeah, I love it. Looks really good. They had to put a tarp down. Got a little chilly, keep the grass nice and green. Well done, as the official got to enjoy it.
So now 2 timeouts for Manny Diaz's group with 33 seconds to play in the half, trailing 7-0. First and 10 off the Georgia Tech 20. Here's the snap to Mensah, looking to throw, has time, winding down, lofts one to the end zone. It is caught, and it's a touchdown for Landon King, showing off the physicality. He just threw the defender to the deck, and he's got a touchdown, his 3rd of the season. Oh, he said, Shelley, get off me! And we're an extra point away from a tie game.
I think more than the physicality, it was the ability to stop on a dime. It's the athleticism, David. He stopped immediately, and Shelley just kept going. Perfect football, great protection. Mensah had about 4 seconds in the pocket to throw that one.
And here is Polino for the extra points.
Like there was no OPI in
No,
question.
I didn't mean that.
It wasn't
just
at all a push-off.
And I think some of that, to me, is, we talked earlier where we thought maybe there was some hand fighting on a potential PI in the end zone one of the Blue Devils' earlier drives. I think the Blue Devil wide receivers have adjusted and said they're going to let us play a little bit on the outside. So, as you said, nothing aggressive, but able to adjust and come back to the football.
If anything, Shelley bounced off of him. Shelley's trying to make a play on the ball. And he finds out that
easy to do. 6'5", 230. A lot of people bounce off of him.
Landon King is made of some muscle.
11 plays, 80 yards, just shy of 4 minutes off the second quarter clock. And that has to feel good for this Blue Devil offense that has done it again. In the last 2 minutes, they get a touchdown of the first half, and they will have the football to start the third quarter. And you look down, Georgia Tech normally possesses the football. They've only had it for 11 minutes here in the first half, and barring something crazy in the last 27 seconds, that is no small thing, Dave.
Well, and Duke is almost more than tripled up Georgia Tech from a yardage perspective. Blue Devils have 238 total yards. Yellow Jackets just 64. This defense and the plan out of the gate to deal with the confusion, deal with all of shifts and motions pre-snap. They have not been phased whatsoever by it. It's been a big difference.
Polino drives the kickoff, a low ground ball that Georgia Tech just falls on at the 24-yard line, not wanting to risk a turnover. Pelachata comes flying in for good measure. And with 26 seconds to go in the half, Georgia Tech has 2 timeouts. Blue Devils have 2. How aggressive is Buster Faulkner in this offense going to be that hasn't really done anything here today? But the Blue Devils will have the football to start the third quarter. But Georgia Tech, downfield passing game, Dave, that's not really their thing.
Not on a traditional basis. They will take a deep shot, typically off a play action. You think run, throw it deep. But in a situation like this here, that they are not designed for it.
And it'll be Haynes King to run straight ahead across the 30, the 35, and they'll give him the 36-yard line. His best run of the day goes for 12+. And Georgia Tech will burn a timeout with 22 seconds to play in the half. That'll leave them with 1. Now, I will say, as they demonstrated against Clemson, Aiden Burr is really good, their kicker. He's 12 of 13 on the year. His career long, that 55-yarder when they had the fire drill field goal that won it at the buzzer in Atlanta. And they are about 25 yards or so, maybe 26 yards away from his range with 22 seconds to go in the half. So that 13-yard rip officially, or 12 yards, excuse me, makes a big difference. As Haynes King and company might be looking for more, so the Blue Devil defense has to be aware of that.
Absolutely. Blue Devil defense, the sack here does wonders because Georgia Tech would likely be forced to use another timeout, and you get them behind the chains even more. So that defensive front can pin their ears back a little bit here.
Haynes King has Jamal Haynes to his left. They bring a man in motion. And from the shotgun, here's the snap. The give is to Haynes running right. The Blue Devils read it well, and he's brought down as he crossed the 40 to the 42-yard line, a pickup of 5. And the last timeout taken by Brent Key with 17 seconds to play in the half, and that does change the calculus. Can't do a fire drill field goal with less than 20 seconds to go, so Georgia Tech almost exclusively would have to work the sidelines here. I guess they could go over the middle one more time as they put a second back on the clock because you can get a quick stoppage on a first down. But Blue Devil defense trying to make sure this is a 7-all game at halftime.
So you don't think you could get a field goal unit out there with the stoppage on first down? If they threw it down here to the 25, it'd be close. 18 seconds.
You're going to take about another 5 or 6 seconds off to run the play. Yeah, I don't think so. Because also they're probably about, 20 yards away from that becoming a factor?
I'm saying if you get a 20-yard play here, you've got your kicker ready to go. Either way, it'd be nice for Duke to make a play here and keep the ball on the Blue Devils side of the 50.
We'll see. On 2nd down and 5, Hosley's the tailback. He goes in motion out to the left. Off their own 42. Here's the snap. Pressure from Rivers. Batted. Incomplete. With 16 seconds to go in the half. Rivers got a hand on it. Haynes King at the last moment just got rid of it. He never saw Chandler coming off the edge.
He never did. Honestly, though, not the worst.
Rivers.
Yeah. Not the worst thing for Georgia Tech. Only 2 seconds gone and another opportunity.
Now it's 3rd and 5.
Rivers so dynamic out of the backfield. Played multiple positions.
Hosley to the right of Haynes King. 2 wideouts stacked up on either side. Now Hosley goes in motion out to the left, and Haynes King all alone. Quarterback run. Angles left to midfield and hit down there. They stop the clock with 12 seconds to play in the half. A lot of pushing and shoving after the fact. You don't want to get a flag here because that would send Georgia Tech into field goal range. The officials do a nice job of separating everybody. Man, Georgia Tech scrambling. The clock hasn't started yet. Now Justin Elliott has let it go. Man, it went early. 8 seconds and 7. Haynes King was 6 with 5. Here's the snap. Pressure comes from his left. Fires. It is caught. 2 and 1 out of bounds at the 30, and that'll take us to halftime.
Almost perfectly executed for the Yellow Jackets. They might look at this.
Hold on your bench.
They might say there's 1 second left.
I thought it was 0 when he headed out of bounds. And the officials are talking this over.
That's the end of the first half.
Yeah, they reviewed it quickly up in the booth, and there was 0. Good work by the Duke defense.
And we head halftime, tied at 7. Well, the Blue Devils made sure all of that time went off, and they will have the football to start the second half. It's kind of an odd sequence with that little scuffle before halftime that allowed the clock to stay stopped for a while, and then they tried to start it frantically as Georgia Tech was trying to get lined up, and it turns out it denied Georgia Tech a scoring opportunity before we went to the break, with the two teams tied at 7, and Duke will have the football to start the third quarter. And we'll hear from Manny Diaz before we head to our halftime break. The Blue Devils tied at 7 here at home. They overcame some mistakes, and they're even at the break as we send it down to John.
Dominated just about every phase of this first half, other than a couple mistakes. This would not be a tie game.
Yeah, it's we have control of the game everywhere but on the scoreboard, which unfortunately is what we play for. So we have to finish drives. It was great. Again, another middle late touchdown for us. We know we get the ball coming out. So great chance to assert control of the game, make them have to throw to beat us. But they're dangerous. It's two big-time teams, and it's a big-time contest.
Thanks a lot. David.
All right, John, thank you very much. We're at the half here in Durham, tied at 7 between Duke and Georgia Tech. Jeff Lamley along with the halftime show right after this.
At Reed's Jewelers, we know that the rules of engagement were made to be broken. So don't settle for the first ring you see in the case. When you put a ring on it, make the moment your own with something that's just as unique as your love. Whether you're going big, keeping it subtle, or finding a happy medium, we're here to help you say I do with a one-of-a-kind design. Because doing things your way is what makes them mean everything. Reed's Jewelers, an official partner of Blue Devil Sports. Visit your local Reed's Jewelers in-store or online at reeds.com to chat with an expert.
This party's getting crazy! Are those mini horses? And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar? Heads up! Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs! Okay, now it's a party!
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
This is Vincent Anthony Jr.
Down he goes! B.J. Anthony, have a night!
And you're listening to Duke Football.
When you're on the move and looking for nonstop college sports action, get the Varsity Network app and take the game with you everywhere. Stream live play-by-play from schools across the country right from your phone, free. Catch hundreds of weekly podcasts, including shows from your favorite teams, all in one place. From football Saturdays to midweek hoops, it's your all-access pass to the college sports world. Whether it's game day or just your daily drive, the Varsity Network app has you covered. Download now and listen live for free on the Varsity Network app.
Whether you're in the market for a new boat or just need service or accessories for an existing boat, turn to Overbee Marine. Now with 2 locations in Kittrell and Lake Gaston, Overbee Marine offers the highest quality of marine products and services, including the latest from Sea Ray, Centurion, Avalon, Bennington, as well as Cobalt boats. Overbee Marine also offers the largest selection of parts in the region, along with full-service facilities at their 2 locations. Stop by or give them a call at 252-586-3593 or online at overbeemarine.com. Overbee Marine. Don't let adventure pass you by.
One half of Duke football is in the books. Welcome to the Blue Devil Halftime Report. Coming up, we'll recap the first 30 minutes, break down the key stats, and update the out-of-town scoreboard. The Blue Devil Halftime Report begins inside the Learfield Network Studios.
Duke 7, Georgia Tech 7 at halftime at Wallace-Wade Stadium. A strange first half of action where Duke dominated on the stat sheet, but it's still even here at the break. Jeff Hamlin here with you from the Learfield Network Studios. Let's take you through what's going on today. First of all, in the ACC, Boston College is 7-0-1 lifetime at home against Connecticut. The Huskies and the Eagles match up today at Alumni Stadium.
A play action to Finiano. Stepping up, throws down the field. He's got a man open, and it's Vereen. 20, 10, 5, touchdown! Touchdown, Connecticut. Juice Vereen.
And that is Mike Crispino from Learfield Sports. At that point, it was a 14-6 Connecticut lead. However, BC has come back, and they have just kicked an extra point. They have taken the lead as they now lead 20-17 with 21 seconds remaining in the first half. Jordan McDonald has 91 yards rushing for the Eagles. They lead the Huskies with 20 seconds remaining now in the first half. Let's go to the top 25 for the first time since 1947. Number 10 LSU and number 16 Vanderbilt meet as ranked opponents.
First down and 10 from the plus 25. Vanderbilt shows a blitz. Nussmeier dropped back. He floats this one. It is caught by Green at the 20, at the 10, far sideline, touchdown. It goes for 24 yards. Nussmeier to Green.
And that was Andrew Algretta from Learfield Sports, but Vanderbilt would come back. They have hit 2 field goals late, including a 46-yarder from Brock Taylor just moments ago, and Vanderbilt will go to halftime with the lead on LSU, 17-13. The 17th-ranked Commodores lead the 10th-ranked Tigers right now in Nashville. Let's go to Columbia, South Carolina. The South Carolina Gamecocks have played 11 ranked opponents over its last 18 games. The latest today, number 14 Oklahoma, for the first time ever, coming to Williams-Brice.
Mateer taking his time, looks over at his 2 wide receivers over to the right. Now shifts Blaylock over to the left side. It's second down and 4. Mateer handoff, Blaylock left side. Trying to get to the corner, does so at the 5, at the pylon, into the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma, and they're excited on that far sideline.
Todd Ellis from Learfield Sports. Number 14, Oklahoma leads South Carolina 14-0 with 9:20 remaining in the first half. Torrey Blaylock and Xavier Robinson have rushing touchdowns for the Sooners. At the half, it is Duke 7, Georgia Tech 7. We'll come back and feature some highlights here. Lots of highlights coming up for Duke. Really only one highlight for Georgia Tech. All that more when we come back. This is Duke Football from Learfield.
Hey, I'm Coach Manny Diaz with Duke Football. In football, preparation starts long before kickoff. By the time we get to game day, we are ready. If my players are injured, they need expert care fast. That's why we count on Duke Orthopedics for quick access to world-class care. And you can too. Whether you're cheering from the stands or tackling goals of your own, don't shoulder pain alone. Duke Orthopedics is ready when you are.
Orthopedic appointments within 48 hours. Duke Health is ready when you are. Visit DukeHealth48.com to schedule an orthopedic appointment.
Are you ready to show your Duke pride wherever you go? Visit shop.duke.edu, your one-stop online store for all things Duke. From the latest apparel to must-have accessories, Duke University Stores has it all. Whether you're a student, alumni, or fan, shop.duke.edu has something for everyone. Get your hands on exclusive Duke gear today. Shop conveniently online at shop.duke.edu, where real Duke fans shop.
This is Wes Williams.
He is ripped down by Williams. Wesley Williams with a huge tackle.
And you're listening to Duke Football.
Your Barbasol shave is a time for self-reflection. Look in that mirror and ask yourself, can I make a real difference in this world? Of course you can. Just not today. The big game is on. Barbasol. It's a can of can-do.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It's time for the annual Team Impact All-In 5K. Join Team Impact on October 19th and help support their mission to create a world where every child facing serious illness and disability feels supported by something bigger, and every collegiate team is transformed by a greater purpose. Remember, there's no wrong way to 5K. Run, walk, or roll a 5K in your neighborhood, at your local college campus, or join one of Team Impact's hub locations. Join the movement to get all kids in the game. Team Impact. All in, all together. Learn more at teamimpact.org/all-in5K.
It is the Duke Football Halftime Report with Duke leading Georgia, or rather tied with Georgia Tech 7-7. Jeff Hamlin here with you from the Learfield Network studios. The theme of that first half was Duke dominating from the line of scrimmage, but they just couldn't punch it in until late. Early on, Darian Mensah set the tone with a big pass right away to Cooper Barkate.
Off the right hash, moving right to left as we see things on the west side of the stadium off their own 3. It'll be a throw on first down. To the right, he's got Barkate. First down and more! score. 25-30. Down the right sideline. Stays in bounds. Oh, they say he stepped out just beyond the 40. Otherwise, it would have been a 97-yard house call. Now Georgia Tech defender running after him to knock the ball loose, but the officials had blown it dead, they say, back at the 38. But it's still a pickup of 35.
RPO action. The Blue Devils have a run play called, but it's up to Mensa to decide if the numbers favor the Blue Devils on the outside. It did. It's a one-on-one situation with Barkate and a safety, Powell Lee.
As Dave mentioned, 35 yards. That drive would carry on deep into Georgia Tech territory. Anderson Castle brought it to the brink of the goal line with a 6-yard pickup. It was 2nd and goal from the 1. It looked great for Duke until
2nd and goal off the 1. The Blue Devils hunting the early lead. And from the shotgun, here's the snap. A give to Castle. Oh, Mensa dropped it in the backfield, trying to get back on it. It's scooped up by Georgia Tech, and now it's a foot race to the other end. The Blue Devils with their first turnover in ACC play, and it's going to turn into a Georgia Tech touchdown. Omar Daniels able to scoop it up in the backfield and take it some 94 yards for the touchdown.
We said that's where Georgia Tech's good. In the red zone, they're very difficult to score on. And the unfortunate thing is it's a Duke mistake. Just a bad handoff in the backfield.
it was a 94-yard fumble return for a touchdown for Georgia Tech, ending a drive that Duke carried down to the 1-yard line. That came with 4:01 remaining in the first quarter. Duke would have another long drive that ended with a botched field goal attempt. Georgia Tech, really, its only sustained drive of the half ended after a big play on the defensive side for Duke, where Georgia Tech had it 3rd and short.
3rd, a little more than a yard. Hosley tailback. Here's the snap. He will get the carries. Met in the hole, and Mercat drops him for a loss back to the 49-yard line. My goodness, what a pop for the redshirt sophomore out of Berlin, Maryland.
Mercat blitzing right up the A-gap, sidesteps the right guard. Rutledge, who's their best blocker, couldn't get a hand on him.
Georgia Tech would punt, and that led to Duke getting its only score of the half.
1st and 10 off the Georgia Tech 20. Here's the snap to Mensa. Looking to throw. Has time. Winding down. Lofts one to the end zone. It is caught! And it's a touchdown for Landon King. Showing off the physicality. He just threw the defender to the deck, and he's got a touchdown, his 3rd of the season. Oh, he said, Shelley, get off me. And we're an extra point away from a tie game.
That comes with 33 seconds remaining, and we're tied at the half between Duke and Georgia Tech at 7-7. We'll go back to Wallace Wade Stadium in a moment. This is the Duke Football Halftime Report from Learfield.
FanDuel Sports Network is your new home for your home teams.
That's what I'm talking about!
Watch all the big hits.
Oh, mercy!
Big shots.
What a name!
Big goals.
He scores!
All in one place.
Are you kidding me?
For coverage of Blue Devils athletics, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Charlotte Hornets, visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com today and watch all season long. What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
This is Aaron Hall.
Steps up in the pocket. Hall's got him. Down he goes.
You're listening to Duke Football.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end
products based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Welcome back to Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham, North Carolina. Halftime of Duke versus number 12 Georgia Tech, and we are all knotted up at 7 points apiece. Let's check out some of the first half numbers. Duke dominating in the statistics. 238 total yards to just 110 for Georgia Tech. Duke got 193 through the air and 45 on the ground. Georgia Tech pretty even, 59 passing, 51 rushing. Blue Devils dominated time of possession as well. 18 and a half minutes to 11 and a half minutes for Georgia Tech. Darian Mensah, the Duke quarterback, 16 of 21 for one touchdown, also one fumble. Nate Shepard, the leading rusher for Duke, with 9 carries for 32 yards. And Cooper Barkay, 7 catches for 118 yards with still a half to go. Time to bring back now Dave Harding for our Keys to the Game, presented by DirecTV, a proud partner of Duke Athletics. Stream the Blue Devils satellite-free on DirecTV. And Dave, I know one of the things you talked about pregame as a key was just how well the Blue Devils would tackle in this game, and consider that box check. The Blue Devils had an excellent first half on defense.
Oh, they absolutely did, John. They were limiting Georgia Tech to just 51 rush yards. Are you kidding me? Through the first half? This is an offense that has had success running the ball against everybody they've played at this point. Big reason why they're 6-0. So the Duke defense has been outstanding in tackling, and the first player to the ball carrier has done a great job of being sound in their fundamentals and bringing the ball carrier down. On the other side, my key to the game was win in the red zone for Duke on offense, and they have only been able to do that once out of their 3 trips into the red zone today. Another 2 resulted in no points for Duke, and unfortunately 7 points for Georgia Tech. Blue Devils get the ball to the 5-yard line, fumble, the Yellow Jackets recover and run it back 95 yards, and then a missed field goal. Not even having an attempt. The snap was muffed and didn't even get the kickoff, resulting in no points. So Duke's got to be better at finishing their drives, and on defense, I think it's just more of the same. Come back out there, tackle well, and be fundamentally sound on defense.
Looking forward to seeing how this team comes out to start the second half. They scored a touchdown on their last drive in the first half. They've got that bridge to the second half now where they can put some distance between themselves and Georgia Tech on the scoreboard, which is all tied up at 7-7. At halftime, we've got the second half coming your way next. You're listening to Duke Football from Learfield.
This week on Sports News, football's newest star ain't no rookie. It's DirecTV. They make it easy to find your pro and college teams across live TV and streaming apps so you never miss a moment. And with access to your game stats and scores in one place, it's good. DirecTV now includes ESPN Unlimited. Visit DirecTV.com today. DirecTV is a proud partner of Duke Athletics. Included premium apps may vary. Internet-connected Gemini device and separate subscriptions required. New residential customers auto-renews monthly. Cancel anytime. Equipment lease required. Unreturned device fees apply. Credit card and restrictions apply.
At Reed's Jewelers, we know that the rules of engagement were made to be broken. So don't settle for the first ring you see in the case. When you put a ring on it, make the moment your own with something that's just as unique as your love. Whether you're going big, keeping it subtle, or finding a happy medium, we're here to help you say I do with a one-of-a-kind design. Because doing things your way is what makes them mean everything. Reed's Jewelers, an official partner of Blue Devil Sports. Visit your local Reed's Jewelers in-store or online at reeds.com to chat with an expert.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
He's got the speed. He's got room. He's going to score.
No one gets you closer to the game than Sirius XM College Sports Radio.
For the win. Got it. Let's go.
Tune in for news, talk, and analysis from the offseason through regular season and into the postseason. We've got your team covered anywhere you go.
Deep to center field. Oh, it's gone.
Get a free trial at SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 2025.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by Duke University. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of Duke University and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by Duke University.
Off we go to the second half. The Blue Devils tied 7 apiece with number 12 Georgia Tech here at home. Before we head to the second half, 10 seconds for station identification. This is Duke football from Learfield. David Shuman alongside Dave Harding up here in the booth. John Roth down on the field. John Rose, our producer and engineer. Evan Jackson is our spotter. Jeff Hamlin monitoring the scoreboard. Back inside our network studios as we head to the third quarter. Duke will have it first. We'll watch him go right to left as we see things on the west side of the stadium. Here in the third quarter, as the guys were telling you, the stats heavily favoring the Blue Devils in the first 30 minutes. And they finally converted in the red zone on their final drive of the half. Brand new ball game, 7 apiece as we head to the second half. Burr will kick off for Georgia Tech. Samir Hagen's back deep to return it alongside Jaden Moore. And off we go in the second half, tied at 7 here at Wallace Wade Stadium. This one is shorter, returnable for Hagen's on a sprint from the 10 on the right side of the field, the 15, the 20. Here goes Hagen's, right sideline 40. Cuts inside, and he's brought down as he got to the 45-yard line. There's an injured Yellow Jacket as well, slow getting to his feet at the 32-yard line, but it's a return of 35 yards. Samir Hagen, something about these Georgia Tech uniforms that brings out the best in them, had a 65-yard touchdown a year ago, and that long punt return, what was it, back in 2022 against Georgia Tech. And a nice kick return here as we're looking to get a number on that injured player for Georgia Tech, but it sets up great field position for Darian Mensah, who was 16 of 21 in that first half, 193 yards through the air against a Georgia Tech defense that only gives up 189 through the air for the game. And something to keep track of, Dave, that was Aiden Burr who got hurt on the kickoff, their talented kicker, so keep an eye on that. In a tight ball game, the kicking game so often factors in. And he is walking towards the injury tent. So keep an eye. As Darian Mensah taps the chest, points to the sky, ready to go to work in the third quarter. Great field position. And from the shotgun, he'll take the snap. Going to throw on first down. Screen set up to the left. Brown is dumped right at the line of scrimmage. Georgia Tech read it well. And John Gilmore, the nickel, had something to say as well. Second and 10.
The defensive lineman, interior D lineman, did a good job of retracing after initially getting up the field. It took away any of the potential lane for the screen to have success.
Call it maybe a loss of a foot or two. As Mensah's from the shotgun on second down, he will throw. Rolling to the right on the play fake, looking downfield, fires, caught. Barcade stepping out of bounds. Near a first down at the 45-yard line as we go to the sideline quickly and check in with John Roth.
I just wanted to let you know, David, that tight end Jeremiah Hazley left the field during the 2-minute warning of the first half, went back for evaluation in the locker room for a lower body injury. He was listed as questionable to return for the second half, and he warmed up before the second half, and now he's out there in his regular position at tight end. But still keep an eye on Jeremiah Hazley as this half continues.
Next to Bruno Fino on the left side of the line. Quick throw to the left, dangerous pass. Barcade spun out of it. Now he's loose on the sideline. It'll dive just shy of the 40-yard line. I saw a defender flash out of the corner of my eye. I thought they might have a chance to pick it off, but Cooper Barcade did well to spin away from it and pick up 4.5. And that was Zachary Toby, the corner that came up. He was injured that first half, so good to see him healthy again for Georgia Tech. And second down and a long 5 coming up 90 seconds into the third quarter. Tied at 7. The Blue Devils have crossed midfield. Shepard the tailback, pistol set, Mensah ready. And here's the snap. The give to Shepard, running straight ahead, bounces outside right, and he is close to a first down inside the 36-yard line, about a half-yard shy on third down coming up. In that first half, the Blue Devils were 4 out of 7 on third down. And another injured Yellow Jacket is down on the field, and they're going to have to stop play. That's Clayton Powell-Lee, their strong safety.
He's made some big plays today, too, especially in the run game, limiting Nate Shepard, some of his opportunities to turn a 5-yard play into a home run.
He's back to his feet and walking to the sideline, and Dave, injuries are kind of a fickle thing. We saw the Blue Devils last year, the tight end room was where all their injuries were. This year it's been the linebacker room, and for Georgia Tech, it feels like they've been concentrated in the secondary.
Yeah. And Duke took advantage of some of that in the first half, really attacking the perimeter of the Yellow Jackets in the passing game.
3rd and a yard, really the full playbook open for Jonathan Brewer here in an area where if you don't get it on 3rd down, barring some crazy lost yardage play, you're likely to go for it on 4th in a 7-all ball game, needing about the length of the football for a fresh set of downs. And the bruiser Anderson Castle is back in just behind Mensah in a pistol set. All the beef on the right side of the line. An extra offensive lineman Smith, also the tight end Hazley. And from the shotgun, here's the snap. The give to Castle, and he's got a first down. To the 34-yard line, needed 1. He picked up 2. Inside the 34 to the 33, in fact. As we hit 12:30 to play in the third quarter, tied at 7, but Duke is driving.
This offensive line moving the line of scrimmage down the field. You see everybody engaged, but the push is a big difference. There, Castle just leans in behind his offensive line. He's already got the first down.
Shepard now the tailback and a pistol set behind Mensah. 3 wideouts on the right side of the formation, including the tight end Landon King. And from the shotgun, here is the snap. Quick throw to the right. This is Andrell Anthony. 35, steps outside. So much speed, and he's down to the 31-yard line with a pickup of 2. Good pursuit by Georgia Tech and the tackle by Jai Gilmore, the nickel corner. So we wheel under 12 minutes to play in the third quarter, tied at 7.
You could tell Georgia Tech, the coaching staff, challenged their corners and safeties to be more physical on the outside. Duke's tried to go to some of that perimeter screen game, and the Yellow Jackets are interfering a little bit more than they did in the first half.
2nd down and 8. Mensah walks to the line. Enticing matchup outside left with Anthony one-on-one. It looks like with Zachary Toby, the reserve corner. And from the shotgun, Mensah ready. They'll keep it on the ground. Straight ahead, Shepard spins through an arm tackle, takes it inside the 30, still churning the legs down to the 26-yard line. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
Spin move in the hole, and then keeps his feet churning.
There wasn't a whole lot there either. That was impressive.
I was going to say, I have not seen a running back, for Duke at least, who's got that blend of quickness. We've seen what he can do explosively, but then the physicality too. He's got the 1-2 punch. So tough to bring down.
They need just about 4 for a first down to the Georgia Tech 23-yard line on 3rd down. Shepard, the tailback, splits out wide in the formation on the right. They got a bunch formation over there, 4 wideouts, in fact. Here's the shotgun snap to Mensah. Looks to the left, wide open Anthony. 20, 15, spun around down to the 12-yard line with a fresh set of downs. All the attention on the right side of the formation, and Anthony was wide open on the left.
Anthony just runs a slant over the middle. The corner doesn't play with him. He plays more over the top conservatively.
Tied at 7. They're into the red zone at the line quickly at the 12. The handoff to Shepard, cuts right inside the 10, and he'll churn the legs down inside the 8, maybe to the 7. Give him the 6. Goodness. And it'll be 2nd down and 4.
He got 2.5 yards after it looked like he was tackled.
In an area of the field where 2.5 yards alone is a good play.
Golly.
They can get a first down, by the way, down inside the 2 on 2nd and 4 as we wheel under 10 minutes to play in the third quarter. Blue Devils hunting the lead, tied at 7. And we see Bradley Smith come in as an extra offensive lineman on the right side of the formation, as is Jeremiah Hazley. Normally that means run to the right. We'll see what Jonathan Brewer dials up here. Throwing the pistol set. Mensah ready. Here's the snap. Here's the run to Castle. He goes straight ahead, and he surges down inside the 5 to the 4, where it'll be 3rd and 2. They are chewing on this clock. We approach 9 minutes to play in the third, tied at 7. Initial drive of the quarter. Heavy package stays out there. Here's the snap. Mensah to Castle, straight ahead again, and he'll only get as far as the 3, I believe. And now what do you do on 4th and 1?
Castle again.
I don't see any motion from the kicking unit.
I don't think there's any question. You know, you've got to win the game somewhere, and here's a perfect opportunity to pull ahead of Georgia Tech with a touchdown. But like we've said, Yellow Jackets very good in this position on the field.
Blue Devils huddling just off the line of scrimmage. Remember that Coach Com shuts off at 15. It's off now, and the Blue Devils break the huddle with 3 guys splitting out to the right, including Nate Shepard. Mensah alone in the backfield. Hagens kind of like an H-back on the left, and now we get a flag before the snap. Is this going to be a false start? Or was Georgia Tech snapping?
I heard a clap.
Here comes the umpire over for a word. Half the distance would be a first down. Manny Diaz saying they were clapping.
That would be an automatic first down.
Yep.
For the Blue Devils.
And now we'll see what Justin Elliott has to say.
Delay of game, defense, disconcerting signals. Penalties half the distance to the goal results in a first down.
Wow.
I heard 2 or 3 claps pre-snap.
Heads up call by that umpire to come over and let the guys know they were clapping, and you can see it. Yeah. He's slapping the inside of his leg, the defensive lineman.
It's not an actual clap. It's the linebacker slapping the leg of the D lineman, like you said. And that's what got the Blue Devils to jump off sides. Great work by this officiating crew.
And now 1st and goal off the 1. The heavy package out there. Shepard, the tailback. Here's the snap. The give to Shepard. Offset right. Spins to the middle. Trying to get in. And they're going to say he's about a foot shy. Mensah thought he got in. Obviously, this can be reviewed, but there was a pile of bodies out there. We're under 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, tied at 7.
I thought he got in. They might want to look at this.
Georgia Tech substituting Castle out there for 2nd and goal.
They're holding them.
And now we're ready to go. Mensah walks up to the line of scrimmage to get everybody organized. They need about 6 inches to take the lead. And from the pistol set, here's the snap. A give to Castle. Spins to the right. Stretches. Did he get in? No. It's 3rd and goal. And half the third quarter is gone already, tied at 7.
It was Eford, the linebacker, that got penetration off the right side that forced Castle to bounce outside. Someone got a hand on his face mask and pulled him down uncalled.
Gilmore, the nickelback, ultimately got the tackle. And now on 3rd and goal, the Blue Devils getting lined up. Obviously a pivotal moment of the football game on 3rd and goal. See as Blue Devils go power football again. Another pistol set with Castle right behind Mensah. From the shotgun. Here's the snap. Give it to the big fella straight ahead. Stretches. And they're going to say he's short again. 4th and goal.
Did he get an arm over the line of scrimmage?
I thought he might have. This might be the closest they've been. Manny Diaz wants him to take a peek.
He was not down. He was on top of a defender and an offensive lineman. And I thought he stretched the ball out over the goal line.
Stopping play here to take a peek.
I think this is a touchdown.
Or is it because of an injury? Excuse me. The officials have stopped play. It was 6:36 to go in the third quarter. I don't see anyone going towards the replay monitor. I also don't see the kicking unit coming out. 4th and goal. The Blue Devils trying to take the lead. Justin Elliott puts the whistle to his mouth. Are they going to look? Well, Brian Parker had to leave the ball game, and now the officials are coming over for a word with Manny Diaz. As Jamal Allen is coming in, and Parker will have to leave for a snap because they stopped it because of his injury.
Injured player number 53 of the offense. It's 4th down.
On 4th down, do you dare jump it over the top with Mensah? Because you break the plane, it's a touchdown. Let's see. 4th and goal, trying to take the lead here in the third quarter, tied at 7. Mensah is going to go from the shotgun. He's got Castle to his right. Flag flies before the snap. Does Georgia Tech have too many on the field, or does Duke?
Illegal substitution. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Wow.
4th down.
Doing some quick math. I see 12 out there, Dave.
Wow. Now you got a kick.
And out comes the field goal unit.
Oh.
Give Georgia Tech some credit, bowling up, down around the goal line.
That was the key to the game, David. Win in the red zone. And to this point, the Blue Devils, 1 of 3, at least for touchdowns. Golly, you hate to have given up an opportunity like that.
And now they need another offensive lineman because Parker still has to miss a play, so in comes Matt Craycraft to protect on this kick. So here's Polino to try to give him the lead from 23 yards in the middle of the field, essentially an extra point. The snap was the issue in the first half. Everybody ready? Good snap, good hold, the kick is up, and the Blue Devils have the lead. A long drive, 15 plays, and they get 3. 6:10 to play in the third quarter. Our new score, it's Duke 10 and Georgia Tech 7.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check if they're going for it on 4th down before going to the concession stand.
Yeah, give me 3 hot dogs, 2 jumbo touchdown, baby! What?
Hey, buddy, you want cheese with those? Yeah, checking first is smart.
No.
So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Fall is in season at Kohl's, and you know what that means. Pumpkins, plaid, and anything that smells like cinnamon. This week, take an extra 20% off decor, home furnishings, bedding, and more. So whether fall is your entire personality or you're just a casual pumpkin enthusiast, the deals at Kohl's are here for your seasonal style. Select styles, some exclusions apply. 20% offer ends October 19th. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Today's game against Georgia Tech is presented by Google Fiber. Google Fiber is now live with up to 8 gigs. No nonsense, just great internet. Google Fiber, the fastest internet in North Carolina.
We're back at Wallace Wade Stadium, 6:10 to go in the third quarter. The Blue Devils lead it by a field goal, 10-7. And Kohl's has the back-to-school styles that'll spoil them at prices that'll spoil you. From jeans and tees to sneakers and more, which means you can do it all without overdoing your budget when you shop at Kohl's and Kohls.com. David Shoemate alongside Dave Harding up here in the booth. John Roth is down on the field. John Rose, our producer and engineer. Evan Jackson is our spotter. And Jeff Hamlin back inside our network studios this afternoon for the 92nd meeting between Duke and Georgia Tech. Also, here in October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the guys see a lot of pink in the stadium, including pink ribbons at the end of each end zone. I think all of our lives, in some respect, have been touched by that dreaded disease, and everyone doing everything they can. Of course, Duke University Health System does a lot of research in that respect and pay tribute to a lot of folks, and hopefully one day we come up with a cure for that thing.
Amen. And our hats off to all those folks that work constantly to find some kind of a cure, or definitely to improve the treatment process.
So the Blue Devils have wrestled a lead away from Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's only points have come on a 95-yard fumble return for a touchdown. I mean, the statistical dominance, 290 to 110. And this Georgia Tech rushing attack that has been so prolific, better than 238 yards per game on the ground. They've only got 51 so far. And this Duke defense will go to work for the first time in the third quarter. Dave, you think about it, Duke is really doing to Georgia Tech what Georgia Tech does to other people. Time of possession, 27 minutes and change to 11 minutes for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it's been a remarkable performance by this Duke defense to limit the Yellow Jackets' opportunities. And then, outside of a few miscues, this Duke offense has been phenomenal. But again, it shouldn't be a surprise that Georgia Tech's good at stopping teams from scoring. That's been their calling card all season. Bend, don't break. There they bent all the way to the 6-inch line and found a way to limit Duke to just 3 points.
Here's Polino to kick off. And back deep to return it for Georgia Tech is Shane Marshall. As Polino drives it, and Marshall from a yard deep going to bring it out, bobbled it on the right, and now he's at the 5, the 10, and drilled as he got to the 14-yard line by Andrew Pellicciata. Wow. Great kick coverage and terrible field position for the Yellow Jackets. As we take a break, 6:06 to go in the third. Duke leads at 10-7.
This party's getting crazy. Are those mini horses? And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar?
Heads up!
Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch offs.
Okay, now it's a party.
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Are you ready to show your Duke pride wherever you go? Visit shop.duke.edu, your one-stop online store for all things Duke. From the latest apparel to must-have accessories, Duke Duke University Stores has it all. Whether you're a student, alumni, or fan, shop.duke.edu has something for everyone. Get your hands on exclusive Duke gear today. Shop conveniently online at shop.duke.edu, where real Duke fans shop.
Jeff Hamlin from the Learfield Network studios with Duke leading at number 12, Georgia Tech 10-7. At Alumni Stadium, it is Connecticut leading Boston College 24-20. The Huskies score on their opening possession of the second half. That's with 8.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Elsewhere in Nashville, number 17 Vanderbilt leads number 10 LSU. Commodores open the second half with a touchdown of their own. They lead 24-13 over the Bayou Bengals. Number 14 Oklahoma leads South Carolina late first half 14-7. David, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff Hamlin. Of course, Blue Devils still have to play Connecticut coming up. Second weekend of November. This is it for October. They're off next weekend, and then they'll head to Death Valley for November 1st showdown with Clemson. They played 6 in a row to Duke to start the season. Off, Georgia Tech off, and then 5 in a row to close it out. Clemson, Connecticut, Virginia, Carolina, and Wake Forest.
I like it. I think it's unusual for sure, but it puts this game on a pedestal for sure with an all-out mindset to get a win and get to 4-0, then turn right around and prepare for the last run of your season.
Lino good from 23. It's 10-7 with 6:06 to go here in the third quarter. We remind you that Blue Devil football is brought to you in part by Coca-Cola. Passionate fans and an ice cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. So Georgia Tech will have it 1st and 10 off their own 14-yard line. Haynes King, their talented quarterback, 7 of 9 today for 59 yards. He's rushed it 4 times for 29 yards. Just for perspective, he's averaging like close to 90 yards per game from scrimmage. And right now, that's the running back Haynes. Haynes King, much more than that. He's averaging over 200, and right now he's sitting at 88. First and 10 for Georgia Tech off their 14-yard line. Malachi Hosley is the tailback in a pistol set. Blue Devils crowding the line of scrimmage, trying to get lined up. And here is Haynes King to throw on first down. Has some time, looks to the left, fires that way. It's caught at the 20-yard line with a pickup, to the 22. Pickup of 8 on first down. Chandler Rivers there in coverage. The catch made by Eric Rivers. 2nd down and 2. As we wheel under 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. That was just the 25th play from scrimmage for Georgia Tech. Duke has run 54. King alone in the backfield. Brings the tight end in motion. Byrne right to left. Design quarterback run. The Blue Devils read it well. And Kendall Johnson bends him backward as he got to the 23-yard line. It's 3rd and 1. It was an awkward fall for Haynes King, and they're going to stop play. Is he still down? No, it's the Blue Devil that's down. And it's VJ Anthony. And you hope that he's all right. He has had an electric season. Leading the ACC, tied for 6th in the country with 6.5 sacks. He's 2nd in the league with 10 TFLs. And he's being tended to on the far side of the field at the 21-yard line. It is just not what you want to see.
Anthony was pursuing off the backside. Dove late to try to bring King down, and looked like a yellow jacket hit him from the side.
He's sitting up now, drinking water. Hopefully that's a good sign. He gives a fist pound to Brent Key, who came over to check on him. Brent Key, of course, lived along the offensive line, so you guys always respect defensive linemen, right?
For sure. I think he's just trying to be nice to one of the ACC country's best defensive linemen.
Now Manny Diaz is over for a word with Brent Key as he was checking on VJ Anthony as well. And VJ pops to his feet and runs off. That's a great sign.
Absolutely. He's a game changer, David.
Blue Devils with 4 tackles for loss in this ball game. That is no small thing against Georgia Tech.
It's true. Georgia Tech falling forward so often. They get the ball moving vertically down the field, north and south, right at the snap. It's a testament to this Duke defense and the way they've been tackling through the first half.
3rd and a yard. Georgia Tech 2 of 6 on 3rd down today. They need their 24 for a first down. The ball is at the 23, and they wound the clock as we approach 5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. King with Hosley to his right. Takes the snap, fakes the pitch, runs straight ahead, and he's got a first down across the 25, falling forward to the 26-yard line. One of the offensive linemen went to make a block on Day Stone, and for his efforts, Day Stone dumped him about 7 yards down the field. As those two exchange a word or two. Yeah, maybe it was Harrison Moore, the center. Meanwhile, 4.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. That is evaporated quickly after the Blue Devils had that long march to start it. Haynes is the tailback now. He's to the right of Haynes King. From the shotgun, here's the snap. King going to throw. Fakes to the right. Launches downfield. Got a man wide open. Day Stone fell down and is beat on the tight end. Down the left sideline and finally chopped down as he got to the 25-yard line. It didn't look like a bust to me, Dave. It looked like Day Stone lost his footing.
That's exactly what happened. Stone was running with the tight end down the field and just fell down. Great work by Haynes King to see that and get the ball down the field.
As we go under 4 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter, the Blue Devils lead at 10-7, but all of a sudden Georgia Tech is threatening. Jamal Haynes, the tailback, is to the left of Haynes King. And there's that prototypical passing game for Georgia Tech that kind of lulls you to sleep and then hits a big one. And from the pistol set now, here's a handoff for Jamal Haynes, running right. The Blue Devils read it well, and he's brought down by Aaron Hall as he crossed the 25 to the 23-yard line. That pass play for 49 yards, by far their longest play from scrimmage.
Not only the identification by King to see that a defender fell down and get the ball down there, but the toughness. The pocket was collapsing. There was pressure on him. He stood in there. This is a redshirt senior quarterback that's seen a lot of ball, not easily rattled.
2nd down and 8. 4 wide out, split out to the left side of the formation. For the moment, Haynes King is alone in the backfield. And now they bring a man in motion, get him going towards the line at the line of scrimmage. No flag though. The ball batted at the line, and then King caught it, or did he drop it? They say incomplete. And it's 3rd down. That almost looked like Arena League over there on the left with a guy running forward at the line of scrimmage at the snap.
That is illegal. That's illegal motion.
Cool play if you get away with it.
No doubt. You got a head of steam heading down the field. The officials should have blown that one.
As Preston Watson got a hand on that ball at the line of scrimmage. So now 3rd and 8 for Georgia Tech. Remember, Burr got dinged up on that kickoff return to start the 3rd quarter. I saw them over there practicing kicking their field goal kicker, who's been so good this year. But they need to take it to the 15 for a first down. Play clock's already down to 5 and 4. Brent Key standing by the official on the far sideline. 2-1. They just barely get it off. King, deep drop. Now the officials have stopped play, and Georgia Tech burned a timeout. Brent Key didn't want to take a chance there to delay a
Prior
game.
to the snap, timeout. Georgia Tech, they're first. Please reset the game clock. 2:51, thank you.
And that'll chase us to a timeout as well. 2:51 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Blue Devils lead at 10-7.
Calling all tailgaters, partygoers, party throwers, and excited Duke Blue Devil fans. Southern Harvest Catering has all your catering needs covered for the big game or that important party. As a preferred caterer of Duke Athletics, Southern Harvest Catering has the know-how and delicious food to make your event the very best it can be. Owned by Duke alumnus Tom Meyer, Southern Harvest Catering has been supporting Duke Athletics for 20 years and feeding Duke fans all over the Triangle. Call them at 919-413-7180 or visit online at southernharvestcatering.com. Go Duke!
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the top college athletic programs for the 2025-26 college athletic season? Check out the criteria and follow the year-long standings of your favorite team at L Directors Cup on the X platform or online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2026 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. The Learfield Directors Cup, powered by NACDA, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
2:52 2:51 to go in the third quarter. The Blue Devils lead it by a field goal here at home, 10-7. Today's game between Duke and Georgia Tech is presented by Google Fiber. Google Fiber is now live with up to 8 gigs, no nonsense, just great internet. Google Fiber, the fastest internet in North Carolina. Well, one of those moments in the ball game that you might look back to as the Blue Devils trying to get off the field on 3rd down and 8. Georgia Tech at the Blue Devil 23-yard line, trailing by field goal, but with, by some measure, their best drive of the ball game. Their offense is yet to score points. Of course, you remember Jonathan Packey's defense has not given up a second half point since that game against NC State. They gave up 13 in that one, did not allow a point since the first quarter up at Syracuse, and did not allow a point after that 12-minute mark of the second quarter out in California, only giving up 4.3 points per game in the second half. And it's a defense that has really played some high-quality football here over the last 3-4 games in ACC play.
They have. After a shaky start, I think you've got to look at it in the big picture, put some context to that. They've found a way to get better and to improve on somewhat of an inconsistent beginning, and are now playing at such a high level. You credit the coaching staff for that. I think this is a group that is confident in their scheme. They understand where they're supposed to be, and they play fundamentally sound football. Rarely do you see Blue Devils missing tackles in the backfield.
Well, to put some stats to what you're talking about, in those first 3 games, teams were running for nearly 150 yards per game, less than 100 per game over the last 3. In this Georgia Tech vaunted run game, 18 carries for 57 yards.
Yeah, that is
I'm not great at math, but that's in the neighborhood of 3 yards a carry.
It's better than I can do. But, it starts with the defensive line. Everybody knew they were going to be good coming in. There have been a lot of different faces at linebacker, mainly due to injury. They've all stepped up. And in the secondary, some youngsters mixed in with the likes of Chandler Rivers that do a fantastic job defending the pass, but also willing to lay their body out to stop the run.
The crowd here at Wallace Wade Stadium making as much noise as they can on 3rd and 8. Jamal Haynes is the tailback. He's to the left of Haynes King. 3 wideouts on the left side of the formation, the wide side of the field, 1 on the right. And on 3rd and 8, from the shotgun, here's the snap. King to throw. Quick one to the left, and incomplete. Able to slice in front and break it up. Chandler Rivers. Man, another half step, and he might have had a pick 6.
Chandler Rivers lined up over the left tackle on the outside of the offense, and at the snap, he runs to the flat. Read that play the whole way. That goes back to the coaching piece. These players are prepared. They anticipated that. Not only a huge stop. It's funny, Chandler Rivers upset with himself. He thought he had a chance to pick it.
Here's Aiden Burr from just beyond 40. Remember, he got dinged up on that kickoff return for Hagans. 12 of 13 on the year. Good snap, good hold. He drives it, and he made it. That thing was hooking right to left, but he tucked it inside the upright to tie the game at 10 with 2:45 to go here in the third quarter. But the Blue Devil defense stands up deep in their own territory, and the offense will go back to work in a tie ball game at 10 apiece as we remind you to check out Duke All Access with head coach Manny Diaz Sunday at noon on ABC 11. And don't forget the ABC 11 mobile app is your ticket to Duke football highlights and the latest from the First Alert forecast. Just tap the app and make it your own from ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
We got a great look this week on the show. Manny Diaz takes us into the process of what it looks like to develop a play, all the way from the conceptualization process to getting it out there on a walkthrough at practice, then running it live at practice, and you see it in a game. And really fascinating to get his take on the development of what it takes to put together an offensive play.
So tie ball game, 10 apiece, 2:45 to go in the third quarter. The last time Burr kicked one, he kicked it short. He had 36 touchbacks on 40 kickoffs coming in. It allowed a long return of some 35 yards for Samir Hagans. We'll see what he does here. The right-footed kickoff man drives this one deeper into the end zone, and the Blue Devils will start at the 25-yard line. And here's Darian Mensah, 21 of 26 for 223 and a touchdown. Nate Shepard, the leading rusher, 13 carries for 48 yards, and Cooper Barkay, 9 for 132. My goodness. Speaking of math, do some quick for Cooper here. He's up over 600 yards receiving on the season.
He's been very good outside, sure-handed, but then shifty enough to make the first defender miss and get upfield for some extra yards.
He's a part of a bunch formation on the left to start this set of downs with Brown, Barcade, and Anthony. And on first down, the carry will be to Nate Shepard, slicing ahead for a yard or so to the 26-yard line.
Shepard with the assignment.
A second down and 9, 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. This Georgia Tech rushing defense that was the worst statistically in the ACC coming in has done a nice job against the Blue Devils rushing attack. They haven't reached 70 yards yet on some 27 carries.
Brian Parker, we saw him come out of the game due to injury earlier. He's back in, but looks like one of his legs is taped up around his ankle.
Second down and 9. We'll keep an eye on that. From the shotgun, here's the snap. Play fake, Minsa to throw. All day again. Looking to the left, fires out of the backfield for Shepard. Breaks the tackle, 30. The dead leg at the 35, and he's across the 40 to the 41-yard line. I'd be in a hospital for weeks if I tried that, but he just shook a Georgia Tech defender right out of his shoes.
Well, he put us in traction for that goodness. The shiftiness there in the open field. We need some sound effects to go along with it.
First and 10 off the 41. Here's Shepard. Cuts right, 40, and upended as he got to the 42-yard line. A pickup of 1 as we're under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Tied at 10. Daquan White with the tackle there for Georgia Tech.
David, we really need to get a report on Brian Parker. He's in there playing, but it looks like an ankle issue. Duke's not getting much push at the right side. He's engaged with the defensive lineman, but staying stationary along the line of scrimmage. That's different than what we saw earlier in this game, and that's been the reason those 2 runs that we've seen did not get much yardage.
Empty set on second and 9. Minsa to throw. 4-man rush. Good protection over the middle. Some contact and incomplete as Brown couldn't hold on. Then he was thrown down after the play. Georgia Tech celebrating wildly, and it'll be third down. They've let him be physical in the secondary on both sides.
Boy, have they. Wow. That was some serious contact right over the middle.
Littles have been good on third down today. 6 of 11. They need 9 here to the Georgia Tech 49-yard line. Tied at 10 as we approach the final minute of the third quarter. Clock stop, 1:07 to go in it. 2 wideouts to either side off the right hash. Georgia Tech crowns the line of scrimmage. Here they come. They pick the blitz up well. Minsa looking downfield, fires to the left. Barcade caught it at the 46. Flag down in the middle of the field. We'll check that as well. For the moment, he's 5 yards shy of the first down. And we'll see what the marker is.
I think we might get OPI or illegal blindside block.
The back judge threw it.
On 15, Jake Taylor.
Interesting decision because it's 4th and 5 if they decline the penalty. It's 3rd and 24 if they accept it. And Brent Key is trying to make that decision right now. Looked like they were maybe trying to set up a screen. And it just wasn't there as Minsa backpedaled. And Brent Key, going through all the machinations with the officials on the far side, is going to decline the penalty.
Pass interference. Offense, number 15. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
It's on Jake Taylor in a tie ball game at your own 46. Manny Diaz will punt.
The big difference on that drive, Duke's inability to run the ball as much as they had in the first half. And a big reason for that is a lack of push along the right side. At right tackle, Brian Parker, the best offensive lineman for Duke, looks to be hobbled.
Going to keep an eye on as Reynoldson is set to punt. Waits, gets it away, nice and high, end over end. Georgia Tech player can't find it in the sun, and the Blue Devils are going to down it inside the 10, and it's Curtis Cooper, the long snapper, who did so at the 6. The return man, Stockton, I thought might have gotten called for a hold because he tried to block somebody. I think he hugged him more than blocked him with 36 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Absolutely. Definitely did.
But a nice job with the punt for Reynoldson and waiting an extra second to give his team time to get down there and down it. And now Georgia Tech, 94 yards away, will go to work offensively in a tie ball game at 10 apiece. Really just one explosive play in the pass game. That's all they've done here in the third quarter, and it wasn't really, it happens. Day Stone slipped, and they'll let the tight end beat them to get loose. We'll see what Haynes King and company do here with Jamal Haynes, the tailback, to his left. 1st and 10 off their own 6, moving left to right as we see things on the west side of the stadium. Here's a handoff to Haynes, trying to get through on the right. Weaver with initial contact, and he falls forward across the 10 with the pickup of a little more than 4. We'll see if that's the final play of the third quarter as we're under 30 seconds to go in it. We thought we'd see a tight ball game today. The Blue Devils 4-2, 3-0 in the ACC. Georgia Tech, number 12 in the country, 6-0. They're also 3-0 in the league. 2 of 4 remaining unbeatens in ACC play, and this one has certainly delivered as we're going to head to the fourth quarter with this thing tied at 10. Final 3 seconds of the third quarter tick off. 4 fingers in the air on the Blue Devil sideline. And we'll head to the fourth, tied at 10 when you come back to Durham.
Do you have questions about Medicare? Let us help. Aetna has Medicare Advantage plans that include prescription drug coverage with a $0 monthly plan premium. Plus, plans include benefits for your whole health, like dental, vision, and hearing. Call Aetna today at 1-888-76-AETNA to learn more. There's no obligation to enroll. One of our licensed agents will answer your call and help you pick the right plan for you. Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. Our D-SNPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area.
Hey, I'm Coach Manny Diaz with Duke Football. In football, preparation starts long before kickoff. By the time we get to game day, we are ready. If my players are injured, they need expert care fast. That's why we count on Duke Orthopedics for quick access to world-class care. And you can too. Whether you're cheering from the stands or tackling goals of your own, don't shoulder pain alone. Duke Orthopedics is ready when you are.
Orthopedic appointments within 48 hours. Duke Health is ready when you are. Visit DukeHealth48.com to schedule an orthopedic appointment.
Welcome back to Wallace-Wade Stadium in Durham, North Carolina. Heading to the fourth quarter with Duke and Georgia Tech all tied up at 10 points apiece. The third quarter really consisted of 2 long drives. The Blue Devils took 8 minutes and 50 seconds off the clock coming out of the locker room and drove all the way down the field, but could not get it in against Georgia Tech's defense at the goal line. Had to settle for a field goal to take the lead, and Georgia Tech answered with a 4-minute drive to tie the score at 10-10. As we head to the fourth, the Blue Devils still in control in the statistics with 311 total yards to just 178 for Georgia Tech. Neither team has really been able to run the ball. Both teams in the 60s in yardage for rushing the ball. But here in the fourth quarter, it's going to come down to it. Blue Devils and Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Duke trying to get its first win against a ranked team since they beat Clemson on this field on Labor Day a couple years ago. And they're starting the fourth quarter all knotted up, David.
All right, John, thank you very much. As we head to the fourth quarter, tied at 10, we remind you to check out the Duke Football Radio Show with head coach Manny Diaz. Comes your way every Tuesday night, except for this Tuesday night, because it'll be over at Cameron Indoor Stadium as John Shire's group opens up exhibition play against UCF. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip. We'll have coverage beginning at 6 o'clock. But normally on Tuesdays, we're over at the Washoukan Golf Club and live on WRAL News Plus, 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and on the Buzz, 620 AM and 104.5 FM and across the entire Blue Devil Sports Network. Somehow I still think Harding's going to make his way over there and help the bill on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'm putting it on Shoemate's tab, that's for sure.
Well, I'm not quite sure either of us thought this was the path to get here, but I think we both thought this would be a close game going into the fourth quarter. What do you think will be some of the keys for Duke here in these final 15 minutes?
Yeah, I think the path to winning this one's pretty easy. It's win the fourth quarter, right? And to do so, Duke's got to begin with playing the style of defense that we've seen through the first part of this game, and that's tackling well. They have been sound in coverage for the most part. We've seen a few slips here and there. And then on offense, it's about punching it into the end zone. You've got to limit mistakes. The ball is incredibly important as you get late into the game here. It feels like the team that makes the fewest mistakes is going to win this one.
It'll be Georgia Tech football, second down and a little more than 5. As we're going to flip the field, we'll watch the Blue Devils go left to right here in the fourth quarter as we see things on the west side of the stadium. That means Georgia Tech right now is driving right to left, obviously. And Haynes King will trot in. And take a look at second down. Blue Devils will see Wesley Williams and Kevin O'Connor be the 2 edge rushers here for second down. Josiah Green and Preston Watson, the 2 defensive tackles. Freeman and Murgata played well at the linebacker spots. Weaver, Rivers, Stone, Robinson, and Callahan, the 5 guys in the secondary. And they've kind of got Rivers lined up like a nickel, but now he goes out on the left side of the defensive formation and coverage. Second down and 5. Haynes King, couple slaps to the hands, and now he'll walk to the line to change the play with 10 on the play clock. Beetham, the tight end, will reposition to the left. And on second down, a low snap, design quarterback run. King looking for space. Looked like maybe a hold on the outside. No flag, though, and he'll surge across the 20 with a first down as Weaver finally made the stop.
I hadn't seen a bunch of design quarterback runs out of King. That is so hard to stop because you get an extra blocker out in front to lead the way. That was the difference there. Duke had a defender in position.
It was his 7th carry of the ball game. This time he will give it running right and stepping inside on the end around to the 25-yard line is Jamal Haynes with a pickup of 5. Opening minute of the fourth quarter, tied at 10. Georgia Tech in possession, looking at 2nd and 5.
Georgia Tech's doing a better job on first down, picking up positive yardage to set up more manageable situations for them. That was a key coming in, and the defense had done a great job of it, is win first and second down, put them in a bind on third.
So 2nd and 5. Haynes King from the backfield has Hosley standing to his right. A slap of the hands, another quick snap right when he looked to the sideline, and a shot down the left sideline. That is incomplete. Outstanding coverage from Robinson. Now here comes a flag. Wow. I didn't see a whole lot of contact. Rivers was the intended receiver, and now the officials are going to talk about it.
I think it's the fact that they did not. Robinson.
Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Robinson impeded the progress of the receiver to get back to the football.
Maybe at the very end.
And never turned his head around.
Yeah, it brings
an
it out to
underthrown ball.
Yeah. Probably didn't need to either. I actually think if Robinson turns around, he's got an excellent chance to intercept that.
Absolutely. But if Robinson at least makes an effort to turn around, I don't think they throw the flag.
So fresh set of downs out at their own 40 for Georgia Tech. That stops the clock with 13:49 to go in a 10-all ball game. This was a drive that started back at their own 6-yard line. Hosley is the tailback to the right of Haynes King. And from the shotgun, here's the snap. Here's the give running right to Rivers. Cuts inside, stood up by Stone, and then brought down. Boy, Stone was being blocked on the outside, still got off of it and made a tackle, only a pickup of 2.
It's big hits on the outside. Georgia Tech's trying to sustain blocks on the perimeter because they hadn't had a ton of success running up the middle. Mm-hmm. And the Blue Devils secondary have gotten on edges, running through the blocks and putting themselves in position to make tackles on the outside.
2nd down and 7. Jonathan Packey told us these would be the downs, trying to keep Georgia Tech out of 3rd and short. And here is Haynes King to throw, backpedaling, looking to the right, loads up top, got a man. Did he overthrow him? He did at the 10. Oh my goodness, he had Dean Patterson wide open for a touchdown. Instead, it's 3rd and 7.
Deep crossing pattern on a post. And it was a miscommunication in the secondary. The corner thought the safety was going to pick him up. The safety was late to get there. Either way, Duke's fortunate.
Everybody exhales, and now a chance maybe to rush the passer. VJ Anthony back out there opposite of Wesley Williams. Here's the snap. Here comes the blitz. King taking a shot to the left this time. It is caught inside the 30 at the 27-yard line. Brought in by Isaiah Canyon over Kamari Robinson.
Wow, what a catch by Canyon. Getting up and over Robinson.
Oh, he tapped him on the head with the football. That should have been a penalty. How do you miss that? Anyway, it's 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. King, a handoff running right. Hosley in the backfield, slowed down by Mergat, spun off of it though, and then he's brought down by Kendall Johnson as he crossed the 27 to the 26-yard line. Only a pickup of a yard.
Missed tackles for the first time. Defense knocked back on their heels here.
And now the center is injured, Harrison Moore for Georgia Tech. I know it's a missed tackle for Mergate, but he got such good penetration, it really slowed things down. And only a yard on the play, and we've got a timeout on the injury. And we're going to take it as well. 12:21 to go in the fourth quarter, tied at 10 here in Durham.
It's Bo time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you could say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
A smooth, close Barbasol shave in the morning lifts your confidence. That rich, creamy lather will catapult you to greatness. Nothing can stop you today. Well, except that traffic jam. Barbasol. It's a can of can-do.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
.21 to go in the fourth quarter, tied at 10 here at Wallace Wade Stadium. Second down and 9 coming up for Georgia Tech at the Blue Devil 26-yard line. As we remind you, today's game between Duke and Georgia Tech is brought to you by Google Fiber. Google Fiber is now live with up to 8 gigs. No nonsense, just great internet. Google Fiber, the fastest internet in North Carolina. Correct something I said earlier. It looked like Canyon maybe tapped Kamari Robinson on the head after getting that long completion. He was just signaling for a first down, so nothing unsportsmanlike there. But this Blue Devil defense now looking at second and 9, trying to find a way to hold Georgia Tech to a field goal attempt with 12:21 to go in the fourth quarter. And Dave, so much conversation coming in about this rushing attack for Georgia Tech, but it's really been the passing game. Haynes King is now 10 of 15 for 146, and that is what has them threatening to score yet again.
And they're attacking Kamari Robinson in the corner. So they might want to consider providing a little safety support. The challenge is there, if you do that, you're a little more susceptible to the run.
To be fair, the Blue Devils somewhat fortunate on this set of downs that Georgia Tech actually isn't in the end zone because Dean Patterson was wide open behind the defense and Haynes King overshot him.
I don't think there's any question that this is the best that we've seen Georgia Tech look. They've got the Duke defense reeling a little bit. And it's been some explosive plays in the past, but also the run game starting to chip away and get some momentum going. We've seen the Blue Devils missing tackles where that didn't happen in the earlier part of this game. Talking to Jonathan Packey, Duke's defensive coordinator, he's like, look, it's pretty simple. We feel like we've got a good plan, but it really comes down to doing your job and tackling when you get there.
New center in the ball game for Georgia Tech. It'll be Tana Alo Tupuola. As they run to the line, kind of an awkward-looking formation. Only a handful of offensive linemen lined up with Haynes King on the right. Now in motion comes Bailey Stockton. King will throw over the middle, got his tight end inside the 10, the 5, and it's going to be first and goal there. The unique formation finds J.T. Byrne. First and goal, Georgia Tech with 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Tied at 10, and there's an injured Blue Devil as well on the hit.
Yeah, they split the left side of the offensive line wide. So divided the defense, had a tight end in formation right off the right tackle, and simply had him run right down the seam up the middle. The defense trying to figure out what was going on, not on the same page, not covered, and Georgia Tech knocking on the end zone.
That's Caleb Weaver, the injured Blue Devil.
That's a huge development in this game. Weaver leading the Blue Devils in tackles, 5 solo, 8 total tackles on the afternoon, including 2 TFLs. He's been all over the place.
He's sitting up as they tend to him. 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. It has been a possession-by-possession game. You kind of expected limited possessions, but it's really been the Blue Devils who have possessed it more than Georgia Tech with some long, methodical marches. And unfortunately, the story of the game to this point has been missed opportunities for the Blue Devils in the red zone. On their initial drive, they were down inside the 5-yard line, and Georgia Tech's lone touchdown came on a 95-yard fumble return for a touchdown for Amar Daniels. That made it 7-0 on the Blue Devils' second drive. They couldn't handle a snap cleanly on a field goal try in the red zone. So they had 2 long drives and no points. They finally scored right before halftime to tie things at 7. Scored on their first drive here in the third quarter, or earlier in the third quarter, I should say, but they had first and goal at the 1 and had to settle for 3. And now Georgia Tech has answered with a field goal, and the Yellow Jackets threatening to take the lead back, and it's an all-ball game early in the fourth quarter as they wind the clock with 12 minutes to go. And Jamal Haynes is the tailback to the right of Haynes King off the Blue Devil 5-yard line. Here's the snap. The give, and the Blue Devils blow it up. Haynes King, I think, kept it the last second, but it was Wesley Williams who joined the party right as they were trying to hand it off. And I think Georgia Tech, in some respects, fortunate to still have the football because Haynes King at the last second said, I'm just going to fall down.
Yeah, as a handoff, Wesley Williams is already there, unblocked off the right side of the offense. I might want to get somebody on number 97.
No, they don't. That's fine.
I don't so you're right.
Second down and goal just outside the 5. And again, it'll be Jamal Haynes. This time from under center goes Haynes King. Play fake. He's going to throw. Looking to the right for Jamal Haynes. Not there. Lobs it to him anyway, and it's incomplete. He stepped out of bounds, so it wouldn't have mattered if he caught it, and now it's 3rd and goal. Boy, Haynes King has thrown some lollipops. If you turn around, you got opportunities for interceptions.
Yeah, it's just the defense has got to work so hard to be in the right place. It's even more difficult to then think about picking it off. You know, they're just running full speed to the spot.
Massive opportunity here to try to force Georgia Tech to try a field goal. 3rd and goal just outside the 5, tied at 10 with 11:09 to go. Hosley, the tailback this time, he's to the left of Haynes King. A bunch formation to the left. Now Hosley splits out wide to the right. And from the shotgun, here's the snap. Haynes King to throw. Here comes pressure. Fires in zone, and it is caught for the touchdown. No, he couldn't hold on. Fall into the ground. Kamari Robinson didn't give up, and he pulled it out of there. Oh, my goodness, what a play. As Isaiah Canyon looked like he had a touchdown, but Robinson wouldn't give up.
Wow. The effort there by Robinson. He's been picked on this game. Would not give up on it. It looks like a surefire touchdown as Canyon's open, but Robinson keeps scrapping at the football to knock it loose.
And now it's Burr to try to give Georgia Tech the lead, and the officials have stopped play.
The ruling on the field of an incomplete pass is under review.
Now, this is going to get into the world of...
What's a catch?
What's a catch?
So Canyon catches the ball 1 feet, 2 feet down, but he's going to the ground as he's spinning around.
I think the rule is you have to maintain possession through the ground if you are catching it while going to the ground. He definitely has control of the ball 2 feet in the end zone, but as he's falling, that's when the ball gets knocked loose.
So this replay review is brought to you by Barbasol Shaving Cream. Barbasol Shaving Cream, why pay more for gels when Barbasol delivers an instant thick lather for a close, comfortable shave? Choose Barbasol, a quality shave, and a trusted value. Manny Diaz out on the field looking for an explanation.
And I think another thing that's important.
The ruling on the field is upheld. 4th down.
I think the big piece to that, David, is the ball started to come out before Canyon was down, or before he made contact out of bounds.
I also think the standard is, 2 feet in a football move for a catch. Well, that football move was towards the ground, so now you have to survive the ground. And it'll be Aiden Burr to try to give Georgia Tech the lead from 23 yards. He's only missed once all year. Blue Devil faithful on the Devil's deck trying to get in his head a little bit. The right-footed kicker drives it and made it. But the defense holds inside the 10. 11:01 to go in the 4th quarter. Duke trails by field goal when you come back 13-10.
At Reed's Jewelers, we know that the rules of engagement were made to be broken. So don't settle for the first ring you see in the case. When you put a ring on it, make the moment your own with something that's just as unique as your love. Whether you're going big, keeping it subtle, or finding a happy medium, we're here to help you say I do with a one-of-a-kind design. Because doing things your way is what makes them mean everything. Reed's Jewelers, an official partner of Blue Devil Sports. Visit your local Reed's Jewelers in-store or online at reeds.com to chat with an expert.
He's got the speed. He's got room. He's going to score.
No one gets you closer to the game than Sirius XM College Sports Radio.
For the win. Got it. Let's go.
Tune in for news, talk, and analysis from the offseason through regular season and into the postseason. We've got your team covered anywhere you go.
Deep to center field. Oh, it's gone.
Get a free trial at SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 2025.
Today's game against Georgia Tech is presented by Google Fiber. Google Fiber is now live with up to 8 gigs. No nonsense, just great internet. Google Fiber, the fastest internet in North Carolina.
11:01 7:01 to go in the fourth quarter. The Blue Devils trail by a field goal now, 13-10. A tight affair is expected here at Wallace Wade Stadium. 2 of the 4 remaining unbeatens in ACC play going at it. The winner gets to 4-0. Blue Devils can do that. Be the first time since 1994 and just the 4th time in program history. Remind you to check out the latest edition of Duke All Access with head coach Manny Diaz each Friday at noon on the FanDuel Sports Network. The FanDuel Sports Network is your home for your home teams. Watch all the big hits, big shots, big goals, all in one place for coverage of Blue Devils athletics, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Charlotte Hornets. Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com today and watch all season long. David Shoemate alongside Dave Harding, John Roth down on the field, John Rose, our producer and engineer. Evan Jackson is our spotter, and Jeff Hamlin is back inside our network studios. And you think about what Darian Mensah has done this year, obviously an opportunity here to try to give the Blue Devils the lead back. Entering today, ACC quarterbacks with 7 or more passing touchdowns, 800 or more passing yards, and no interceptions through 3 games in ACC play in the last 30 years. Obviously, he has won 7 touchdowns and 802 yards to start the day. But here's the other 5. You want to talk about good company? Kenny Pickett, Chris Winkie, Trevor Lawrence, and Drake Bay.
Yeah, wow. Pretty good. He has been outstanding. And with the complement of the Duke running game, this offense has been hard to stop. They've got a ton of game pressure on them right here, though, being down 3, 11 minutes to go. And Georgia Tech, although the Duke defense is able to limit them to a field goal there, seems like they've found something on offense. So you can ill afford an empty possession here.
And it'll be Higgins and Jaden Moore back each returning. By the way, Chris Winkie, we mentioned him. He's in the building today. He's Georgia Tech's co-offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Of course, the last time the Blue Devils beat Georgia Tech, it was here at home 6 years ago in 2019, 41-23. I think anybody's going to get to 41 today. Who knows, though? As Burr is set to kick off, 13-10 our score. The Blue Devils down by a field goal. And into the end zone it goes again. So the Blue Devils will start at the 25-yard line. I think after they saw Higgins with that 35-yard return, they said, that's enough of that. Yeah. We won't try the short kickoff anymore. And here is Darian Mensah, 23 of 29 for 242 and a score. It's been the passing attack today that's carried the heavy load for Jonathan Brewer's offense.
And I think you need to go to the passing attack here. Duke's had a little trouble the past couple possessions running the football on a consistent basis. Georgia Tech is thin in the secondary. So let Darian Mensah go to work.
They go to work off the left hash. Hazley, the tight end, lined up basically right behind Tickett and Parker on the right side of the offensive line. Here's the snap. They will throw. Pressure comes, and he just throws it up and out of bounds up the left sideline. There wasn't really a receiver in the area. Was he out of the pocket? The officials are talking about it. And, here comes the flag.
Can't do that.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 10. Penalties, a loss of down at the spot of the foul. Second down.
I think that's a good call by the officiating crew. Mensah clearly threw the football away to avoid getting hit.
Back at the 19-yard line. They say the 18. A loss of 7 and loss of downs a killer. So now you're looking at 2nd and 17.
And with how mobile Mensah is, you can hope he'd be athletic enough to get out of the pocket, then throw it away.
Here's the snap. Mensah to throw. Rolls to the right. Plenty of time. Looking downfield. Waits. Tucks. Runs. 20. 24. Hit as he slides. No flag. 3rd and 11 coming up. It wasn't a heavy hit, but there was slight contact.
Yeah. They did a good job of avoiding him.
Now 3rd and 11. The Blue Devils 6 of 12 on 3rd down today. Feels like an awfully important moment in the football game with 10.5 minutes to go down by field goal, and a Blue Devil defense that has been on the field a lot here in the second half.
Barcate 1-on-1.
Short side of the field on the right was Zachary Toby, the reserve corner, getting the start today with the injury to Harvey. They need the 35. Here's the snap to Mensah. Here's the blitz. He stays in there, fires. He's got Jaden Moore. Some contact. Oh, no flag this time. Wow. Manny Diaz is livid. That looked very similar to the play we saw in the last drive.
Exactly the same.
He ran through him without turning his head around.
Exactly. Wow.
And now the Blue Devils will have to punt.
Had to look. Mensah did a good job. He had to throw hot. Georgia Tech brought pressure, unblocked defender.
And now with 10:05 to go, the Blue Devil offense will have to boot it away. And it'll be Rivers Bailey Stockton to return this punt. And Reynoldson rolls to the right, gets it away, nice and high. Stockton ranging back for a fair catch at his own 28-yard line. And that's where Georgia Tech will have it 1st and 10. When we come back, 9:58 to go. The Blue Devils trail it by field goal, 13-10.
This party's getting crazy.
Are those mini horses?
And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar?
Heads up!
Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs.
Okay, now it's a party.
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Back inside Wallace Wade Stadium, 9:58 to go. The Blue Devils down by field goal, 13-10. And Duke football is brought to you in part by DirecTV. DirecTV is a proud partner of Duke Athletics. Stream the Blue Devils satellite free on DirecTV. Visit DirecTV.com today to learn more. While we have a moment, 10 seconds for station identification. This is Duke football from Learfield. Go. Plenty of time for the Blue Devils to get back in this one, only trailing by field goal, but this is a Georgia Tech offense that all of a sudden has found their footing in the second half to the tune of a couple of field goals, but they have really controlled the flow of the ball game after halftime. After the Blue Devils had that long march all the way down the field, took about 8.5 minutes off the clock, but stopped inside the one. And Dave, that stop right now is the difference in the ball game. Touchdowns versus field goals, that's a touchdown. It's 14-13. The Blue Devils by one. Instead, they're down 13-10. Give Georgia Tech credit for bowing up at the goal line. The Blue Devils looked like they were going to go for it on 4th down, but Brian Parker had an injury. He had to leave the game, and I think in the confusion about who was supposed to go out there, too many guys went out there. They actually sent 12 on the field, got a penalty, and had no choice but to settle for the field goal.
It's really, this game has been all about red zone efficiency. Yeah, they got stopped there. They also got stopped on the opening drive of the game, and not only did they get stopped, they gave up 7 points the other direction. That's
loading large. Think about just 2 field goals on those 2 possessions, and you take away the 7 from Georgia Tech.
Exactly.
And it's 16-6 right now. But you can't. You got to go make a play. We'll see what Jonathan Packey's defense that has played so well here today can do as Georgia Tech goes to work off their own 28-yard line. Haynes went in motion briefly. Now Jamal Haynes motions back out to the left, and Haynes King is alone in the backfield. From the shotgun, here's the snap. 4-man rush. Has time, though. Down the middle. It's caught. And a first down across midfield to one of the big tight ends. This time, they find Luke Harpering, the redshirt freshman out of Atlanta, and they give him forward progress. And it keeps getting better. It was a 49. They're going to mark it inside the 48.
Duke's getting gashed by tight ends up the seam. It's the 3rd or 4th time we've seen it.
24 yards on that pickup with 9.5 minutes to go. Georgia Tech breaks the huddle. Hosley, the tailback this time, he's to the left of Haynes King. One-on-one on the right side of the formation. Callahan in coverage. Here's the snap. Haynes King, design quarterback run to the left, trying to cut back inside. Man, maybe a hold on the edge. No flag, though. And they're inside the 40 with a first down. Looked like B.J. Anthony got tackled, and Manny Diaz is losing his mind. As it is, it's a first down at the 39.
I think it's safe to say you're not going to get many holding calls in this game. They hadn't really been all that impressed by any of the hugging that's taking place along the line of scrimmage.
Well under 9 minutes to go, and the Blue Devils down by field goal, and Georgia Tech has crossed midfield to the 39-yard line. Hosley is to the right of King. And from the shotgun, here's the snap. The give to Hosley straight ahead, and he's inside the 35 and down to the 33-yard line with a first down. You got two eyes you're keeping on here. One, the scoreboard, obviously, 13-10. The other clock, 8.5 minutes to go. The Blue Devils can ill afford to allow a touchdown here, already trailing by field goal.
And you're almost in field goal range.
Probably already are. Burr's long is 55.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech so proficient at eating the clock. As in motion comes Rivers, left to right. Now he peels back to the left. He will not get the handoff. Haynes King, though, brought down to the backfield. Josiah Green makes the play, and it's a loss of 2 back to the 35. And now there's an injured Blue Devil. BJ Anthony is down again.
That's one of the first times
back to his feet, though,
in this fourth quarter that we've seen Duke have great success on first down.
5th tackle for loss in the ball game.
You know, Georgia Tech lately has been steaming ahead, getting chunk yardage on 1st and 2nd down to set up 3rd and manageable.
This is 2nd and 12.
This is a play you really need to win.
Jamal Haynes is the tailback, offset to the left of Haynes King by about 5 yards opposite him. And here's the snap. Haynes King to throw. Steps up in the pocket, over the middle, juggled, and caught at the 28-yard line by Jordan Allen. So they pick up the 2 yards they lost, plus 5 more, and it brings up 3rd and 5 at the 28 with 7.5 minutes to go in the ball game, and the clock rolling. Georgia Tech leading 13-10. A pivotal 3rd down. Georgia Tech today 4 of 10 on 3rd down.
Gonna be ready for screen game and quarterback draw here.
Davis and Williams, the 2 edge rushers. Preston Watson and Josiah Green are the 2 defensive tackles. They need the 23 for a first down off the Blue Devil 28-yard line. From the shotgun, here's the snap, here's the blitz, quick throw, it's caught, and it's a first down to the 21-yard line to Bailey Stockton. They brought pressure, and give Haynes King credit. He stood in there and got rid of it. As we're under 7 minutes to go, it's a fresh set of downs for Georgia Tech. They lead by field goal 13-10.
Yeah, Haynes King, phenomenal identification, bring pressure up the right side of the defense. That's Luke Murgatt on the blitz. That frees up a whole lot of room, and he threw right into it, right into that open space.
Able to get the pass away over the arms of Murgatt, who nearly batted it down. So 1st and 10, Georgia Tech off the 21-yard line of the Blue Devils. And here's a design quarterback run for Haynes King. Cuts inside the 15, tumbling down near another first down. He's inside the 12. It'll be 2nd and a yard. Deshaun Stone made the tackle. But the field starting to tilt in the Yellow Jackets' direction. As we're going to be under 6 minutes to play when they snap it again. They've got the field goal lead. And the Blue Devils, as we said, just cannot give up a touchdown right here. Georgia Tech, as you would imagine, content to work the clock. Both Hosley and Jamal Haynes and Hosley lined up like a fullback. He will get the carry. He will have the first down, stood up as he got to the 10, and it'll be 1st and goal there. The one benefit of that is they have to get the full 10 to get into the end zone. The downside, we look up, we're under 5.5 minutes to go. Duke has all 3 of their timeouts if needed. But the mission first is to keep Georgia Tech out of the end zone. Duke trails by field goal 13-10. Because if you can do that, you'll have plenty of time and 3 timeouts to work with. If not, you're battling uphill. King out of the shotgun. Ready? Here's the snap. The give is to Hosley. Straight ahead. Spins out of a tackle and takes it in for the touchdown. Malachi Hosley with his 6th rushing score of the season. And Georgia Tech leads by 9 with 4:57 to go. 19-10 with the extra point to come.
For this Duke defense that had been in position.
It's Weaver, who's made so many big plays today.
Yeah, that's the second part of it. It was be in position and then make the tackle. And Weaver misses it on a spin move.
Here is Aiden Burr to try to make it a 10-point game with 4:57 to go. And he does.
If there's any benefit, it's that they scored
on the first play.
On the first play of that series, or that, first down.
Obviously, you're going to be a tempo situation here with 4:57 to go, down by 10 with 3 timeouts. You don't want to use any of those on this next drive because it's kind of one of your lone hopes to try to get the football back, now trailing 20-10. And Dave, obviously we're stuck in the present, 10 points for Georgia Tech here in the fourth quarter, but if the Blue Devils aren't able to come back in this football game, I think you're going to go back to the first half of the first quarter when the Blue Devils left scoring opportunities on the field, so to speak, with those two drives into the red zone where they came away with nothing.
Yeah, but you also have to credit Georgia Tech finishing the game so far better than Duke. We said at the top of the fourth quarter, the way to win is pretty simple. Win the fourth quarter. Both teams knotted up, and the Yellow Jackets have made stops on defense, and their offense found a spark. That's how you win games in conference. Got to be strong in the final stanza.
As Burr is set to kick off, drives it through the end zone, and the Blue Devils will start the 25-yard line. And in the games the Blue Devils have not won this year, there's been a familiar story. In some respects, it's been the story today here, self-inflicted wounds. We've talked about the lack of red zone execution, but you think about their last drive offensively, you started with an intentional grounding call, and you're battling uphill. We've seen early down sacks. We've seen penalties on first down. The offense has been proficient, but have put themselves in some spots that have been difficult to overcome, including early in the third quarter when it looked like they might go for it on 4th and goal at the 1, and they had too many men on the field.
Yep. Reminiscent of that Illinois game in many ways.
So now down by 10 with 4:57 to go. Mintz and company to work. Here's the shotgun snap, Darian to throw. Plenty of time to the right, and Barkay couldn't hold on. Mintz was under pressure, and that throw looked a little bit uncomfortable from the talented quarterback, and now it's 2nd and 10.
Pretty good pocket. Just Mintz couldn't get his feet set. I don't know if he got stepped on by one of the offensive linemen.
2nd and 10 with 4:53 to go. Mintz with Shepard to his left. From the shotgun. Look to the sideline. Here's the snap. They bring pressure. It doesn't get home. He escapes to the right, looking downfield. Flag flies for a hold, and Mintz is going to take it across the 30 and out of bounds at the 31-yard line. That looked like a hold, Dave, but they haven't called that all day. And the officials are talking about it back inside the 20.
Holding. Offense, number 53. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's a hold on Brian Parker, but the lack of consistency with that, with the way VJ Anthony's been defended today, interesting.
Well said. It is interesting. I wish I could say surprising.
You look at the penalty yardage. That is the 6 on the Blue Devils. For close to 40 yards, and now they're looking at 2nd and 20 with 4:40 to go.
Seen pass interference also not consistently called.
From the shotgun, here's Mintza. 4-man rush. He's got time, waits, still waiting. Escapes to the left this time, looking downfield, fires down the sideline, and is caught across the 40. It'll be a first down to Samir Hagans out to the 41-yard line. No, they say the 38. That is a horrific spot. He was beyond the 40. Anyway, they put it down at the 39 with 4:15 to go in the ballgame.
Yeah, most importantly, a first down.
So we get another look. Clearly beyond the 40. Anyway, 1st and 10. Mintza to throw. 4-man rush to the right sideline. Barkate's out there. Got it. Can he break a tackle? Steps inside 45, 40, and goes down with a first down at the Georgia Tech 40-yard line. We're under 4 minutes to go. The clock rolls. They won't stop it on first downs until you get under 2 minutes. 20-10, our score down by 10. The Blue Devils trying to climb back into it. Shepard to the left of Mintza. Here's the snap. 4-man rush again to the right sideline again. Barkay makes the catch at the 30, and that'll be another first down as they come to the line quickly with 3:35 to go. You'd love to score before the 2-minute timeout. Officially, they spot at the 29-yard line. Georgia Tech substituting. So they're going to hold up play here for just a second with 3:20 to go. And Mintza trying to get the offense organized. Everybody ready? And from the shotgun, here's the snap. Darian to throw, looking to the left, waits, escapes to the right, room to run, instead he throws and it's dropped. Taylor couldn't hold on at the 25-yard line, and given that it would have been a 4 or 5-yard pickup, maybe better than the clock stops with 3:06 to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Defender right there in position to make the tackle had he caught it.
They're They're at the Yellow Jacket 29-yard line, trailing by 10 with 3:06 to go in the ball game. 20-10 our score. Mensah has Shepard to his right. Walks up in the pockets. Looking things over. Backs out, and now we're ready. And here's the snap. They bring 5 this time, still has time. Mensah downfield, dangerous pass, incomplete. Not sure if that was intended for Shepard and it sailed or for Hazley downfield. Either way, it's 3rd and 10.
I think it was for Shepard. And just a bad pass.
It'd be about a 47, 48-yard field goal attempt from here if they can't convert on 3rd down to try to make it a 7-point game with 3:02 to go. And here is Mensah with Shepard to his left. They need the 19 for a first down. From the shotgun, here's the snap. 4-man rush again. Good protection. Mensah, downfield shot for Brown, incomplete. And the Blue Devils somewhat fortunate it wasn't intercepted. And now we will see Polino to try a field goal to try to make it a 7-point game. Good coverage for Georgia Tech down the middle of the field.
Yeah, bad ball by Mensah, but like you said, actually turned out to be the benefit of Duke because it was triple covered, very tight zone defense down the field.
From 46, just inside the right hash, here's Todd Polino to try to make it 20-13 with 2:57 to go. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up. It's got the leg, and it is no good. Polino unable to convert. And the score remains 20-10 with 2:52 to go. And Dave, you can't help but think about a year ago down in Atlanta when the Blue Devils were down by 10 and Polino could not make a field goal to make it a touchdown game late. And that pretty much ended the ball game. And now here in the fourth quarter, he left it out to the right. And with 3 timeouts, it's not totally done with yet, but you're in the neighborhood, down 20-10. And the kicking game, that was a long field goal, a miss, and an issue in the operation earlier. Combine that with a fumble inside the Georgia Tech 5-yard line, taking back 95 yards for a touchdown. And that's how you're down by 10. You take 7 off for Georgia Tech and add however many to your side of the ledger. And as you said, that's how you win or lose in conference play. As Haynes King is in the backfield, and now we get flags before the snap. And who's the marker on? Another conversation.
Ball start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That'll be on Malachi Carney. That's something we've talked about with the head coach Manny Diaz in their first couple of losses against Illinois Tulane. One of the most frustrating aspects of those losses is they were their own worst enemy. And I think in many respects, a similar story here this afternoon. 1st and 15. Haynes King. An inside handoff. The Blue Devils bottle it up for no gain, and they're going to start using their timeouts here with 2:48 to go.
That's what makes a loss like what could be happening today even more painful is that from a talent perspective,
they're first. 30 seconds.
You matched up well. And it's really on you as a player, as a team, as to why you lost the game. It's nothing that the opponent did. I will say the exception to that is the way the Georgia Tech offense played in the fourth quarter. They kept chipping away, and you got to give Haynes King and the rest of his teammates credit. They found something on Duke's defense to the tune of 10 points, and that's the difference in the game.
But I think we both would say, you take away that return. If we had told you at the start of the day, Jonathan Packey's defense will only allow 13 points to this Georgia Tech offense, that would have been a heck of an afternoon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not saying
no,
that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I think it's been a strong outing, but the fourth quarter was not their best quarter.
And some of that is Georgia Tech's really good. And
some of that the Duke offense wasn't out there enough.
And here's Haynes King running to the right. Not much there as they stack it up, trying to get the football out. Now Haynes King is literally airborne, sitting on top of a couple of tacklers in the second timeout with 2:44 to go. And the Blue Devils down by 10, and you start to spin it forward. Obviously, still a chance to come back and win this game. The mountain would look awfully difficult to climb given the standings in Georgia Tech. Obviously, if they win this, will still be unbeaten. But David got a little less steep last night because I think some of the foregone conclusion was Miami was going to run the table with the way they looked, but they lose to Louisville. And now today, even with the loss, you still feel like you're much more in the fight because it looks like maybe you're not going to have multiple unbeaten teams running the table in the ACC because the Louisvilles get their crack at Virginia. As we told you, SMU is at Clemson. And there's only going to be, at most, 3 unbeatens in ACC play today at the end of the day. And SMU still has some tough games coming up. And we'll see how it shakes out. So all is not lost, I guess, is what I'm trying to say with the loss here today. But it certainly is disappointing for the Blue Devils the way it's unfolded as they're looking at 3rd and 14 defensively.
No doubt. On the topic of SMU, they haven't lost an ACC game. Can you believe that?
Well, unless you count the championship game.
Well, but
yeah,
a regular season ACC game.
3rd and 14. From the shotgun, here's the snap. King will keep it again, looking to the right, nobody home. Flag flies in the backfield, and Haynes King is loose along the right sideline, midfield, 45, and down to the Blue Devil 42-yard line. And now we check the marker. And it appears the officials picked it up. So let's see.
Personal foul. Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That's on Josiah Green. And with only one timeout, that'll all but do it with 2:36 to go. Down 20-10. And they'll wind the clock unless Manny Diaz wants to use a timeout here. They can only stop it one more time. And it certainly appears Georgia Tech is headed to 7-0 for the first time since 1966 when they started 9-0. And this is kind of, Dave, how they've been doing it, by the skin of their teeth. You think about Colorado with the 3 early turnovers. Haynes King goes wild in the 4th quarter, and they come back and win. At Wake Forest, they barely escaped on the road, and then obviously that walk-off field goal against Clemson at home. Well, they're having a magical season. And now here's Haynes King on the run, straight ahead, and he'll cap it inside the 15, the 10, the 5. Is he going to take it in? He will. Wow, touchdown. And that's the only thing that really gives the Blue Devils any hope with 2:10 to go. Surprised he took it in?
No.
26-10 now. Is that style points to the playoff committee? Is that what they're thinking? Anyway, Haynes King with rushing score, his 10th of the season, which gives him 3 consecutive seasons with 10 or more rushing scores and ties him with Lamar Jackson. That's the last time it was done, the 15 to 17 seasons. And here is Burr. It's 27-10. And it does have kind of that Illinois flavor to it when you look at a game that the Blue Devils in many respects dominated with so many self-inflicted wounds, and you look up, it's a 17-point margin, 27-10.
Very, very similar.
I don't know why that just hit me, but it just feels that way right now.
I mean, I think the parallels between that game and this game there are too many not to talk about it. You've got turnovers and special teams plays.
I mean, there's a muff punt in that game against Illinois that set up their first touchdown.
And penalties that took you either, you had the 2 number 8s on the field against Illinois. This one, you got too many men on the field that take you out of a touchdown situation when you're at inches from a score, having to settle for a field goal.
You look up, and Georgia Tech now has 176 yards rushing. And Haynes King has 120 of them.
And a lot of that's on Duke. But I do think a team like Illinois and a team like Georgia Tech, veteran quarterbacks that are almost impossible to rattle.
And the kickoff will go through the back of the end zone. The Blue Devils will start at the 25-yard line.
And when you've got an offense and a leader of your offense that's like that, you're always in the game. You talk about how Georgia Tech's found a way by the skin of their teeth to get these games won this season. A lot of that goes to Haynes King, and he's over there talking to his offense right now. because with a leader like that, you always feel like you're in the game. And I don't think there's any surprise when we're drawing these parallels. Altmaier for Illinois and Haynes King for Georgia Tech, they're at their best late in the game.
27-10, Minnesota throw underneath. He's got Landon King across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Bring up 2nd and 3. That's going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes to go here in Durham. The Blue Devils trailing 27-10.
Are you ready to show your Duke pride wherever you go? Visit shop.duke.edu, your one-stop online store for all things Duke. From the latest apparel to must-have accessories, Duke University Stores has it all. Whether you're a student, alumni, or fan, shop.duke.edu has something for everyone. Get your hands on exclusive Duke gear today. Shop conveniently online at shop.duke.edu, where real Duke fans shop.
Just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check if they're going for it on 4th down before going to the concession stand.
Yeah, give me 3 hot dogs, 2 jumbo touchdown, baby! What?
Hey, buddy, you want cheese with those? Yeah, checking first is smart.
No.
So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Back here in Durham, 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. The Blue Devils down by 17, 27-10. David Shoemate alongside Dave Harding. John Roth is down on the field. John Rose, our producer and engineer. Evan Jackson, our spotter. And Jeff Hamlin back inside our network studios. And different feel, but in some respects a similar storyline. The last 2 meetings with Georgia Tech for the Blue Devils last year. Duke had the lead going to the 4th quarter, and Georgia Tech had 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, outscored the Blue Devils 14-0. And here this season, it was tied at 10 as we went to the 4th, and Georgia Tech has now scored 17 in the 4th quarter to open up a 27-10 lead, and they certainly appear headed to a 4-0 start to ACC play. And the Blue Devils will enter their second bye likely at 4-3, and now 3-1 in the league, halfway home in conference play, and very different feeling heading to an open day than they did when they left Berkeley with a 45-21 win. And now they'll have to turn their attention to a trip to Clemson, a non-conference tilt against Connecticut, and then 2 of 3 at home to close the season. Virginia and Wake Forest here, surrounding a trip over to Chapel Hill to take on North Carolina. And they will be interesting, the conversations the next couple weeks for the team with that off date and kind of resetting the framework of what's possible, because obviously when you take a loss in league play, some of the things are no longer in your hands in terms of what you control, in terms of your ultimate goals of getting to Charlotte. There's still multiple pathways that can get you there, but in a 17-team league, we talked about how valuable these tiebreakers are. You're going to need some help, and you're obviously going to have to take care of business yourself.
Yeah, you're no longer in the driver's seat, and that's a tough pill to swallow for a proud group, a group that is talented and well-coached, great effort, but, want to only gets you so far. It's about coming out and executing and being consistent. I think that if there's a word that I feel like plagued Duke today, it's the inconsistency. They looked great for a majority of the game, but then there are just pockets here and there of head-scratching behavior.
2nd down and 3. Mintz a quick throw to the right. Barcade another reception, and he'll have a first down out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Yeah, we were talking about the parallels between this and the Illinois game. I don't think it was the volume of errors that they had in the Illinois game, but it seemed like all of them came in pivotal spots.
Yeah. Well, when we talked about you can't rattle Georgia Tech, sure, it would have helped going up 7-0. But right away, you spot them a touchdown after the defense had gotten off the field.
As Mintz under pressure in the backfield and has to throw it away.
One of the things we've talked about is game pressure and how good this team is when they're able to kind of get on the positive side of a game. Never got there today. They were constantly fighting and digging themselves out of that early deficit that the turnover return for a touchdown caused.
2nd down and 10. And here's Mintz to throw. Pressure comes again, fires to the right. Shepard out of the backfield will take it across the 40 and out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. 3 yards shy of a first down. I mean, yeah, you think about that first half. Really, that first drive of the third quarter, they come out of the locker room, they execute so well, get it down inside the 1, had the penalty, have to settle for a field goal. And that was their lone lead in the ball game, 10-7. But even at that, never got Georgia Tech to a position where it felt like they had to change who they had to be offensively. And it's 3rd down and 3. And from the shotgun, Mensa to throw. Fires to the right. A first down out to midfield. That's Landon King. They'll stop the clock briefly and move the chains with 1:40 to go. As the Blue Devils are down 27-10. Needing something in the neighborhood of miraculous to come back in this one. As Mensa will throw again. This time to the left, got a man wide open. It's Quayshawn Brown inside the 35-30, riding off to arm tackles inside the 20 and down to the 19-yard line, where they'll stop the clock with 1:24 to go, and they come to the line as fast as they can.
You got to credit Georgia Tech's defense. They really lean into their style, which is bend, don't break.
Mensa to throw, looking to the left, taking an end zone shot. And for Hagans, oh wow, what a catch. Samir Hagans has a touchdown. That is his 5th touchdown of the season. The Blue Devils draw a little bit closer. It's 27-16 with 1:13 to go. Extra point, onside kick, touchdown, onside kick. Don't get greedy, just get a field goal, get it to overtime, or maybe get greedy, get 2 touchdowns. Try to win it here in regulation. That's the path right now. That was a nice catch by Hagans. As Mensa gets the touchdown toss, his 2nd of the day, now 17 on the season. And they're going to go for 2 here, trailing by 11. Shepard is to the left of Darian Mensa. Bunch formation on the right. And here's the snap. Mensa to throw, looks to the right, pressured from behind, flush to the right, still looking downfield, needs somebody to come open, just throws a hopeful ball back over the middle, and it's caught along the back line for 2 by Barkate. They're talking about it. He did make it. What a catch. I mean, that was just, hey, I see 3 blue jerseys back there. Let's throw it up and see what happens, and it's 27-18.
Jump ball situation, exactly right. Was he inbounds?
He got the left foot down. So. Obviously, they can review this if they want to.
Yeah, I think he's got his left foot down. Mensa had Hagans open on a slant early. Surprised he didn't see it, but well done, continuing to fight.
And now, can you get an onside kick? Or 2? As the 2 teams are on their respective sidelines. 7 plays, 75 yards, less than a minute off this 4th quarter clock. And in some respects, equal parts encouraging and infuriating for this team when they go back and look at this tape of the opportunities that were in front of them.
Yeah, you can score on this defense. Just couldn't do it consistently.
And you mentioned it's 7-7 at halftime, and you feel like that was the half of the ballgame the Blue Devils really controlled. I mean, Georgia Tech did some nice things offensively, as you were talking about in the second half, in the run game. But in the first half, if you look at the way the game played out, probably should have been at least a lead, if not a multi-score lead, going to the locker room. As Polino is ready for the onside kick. Oh, they go opposite to the sideline, and oh man, Barkate nearly got it. Flying in when everyone thought it was going to be Polino, it was Cosme Salas who actually did the onside kick. And man, Barkate nearly got it on the sideline. That was clever. There was also a flag down. 2 of them. One should be for the ball being kicked out of bounds. I'm not sure what the first one is for. Maybe the Blue Devils are offside. With 1:12 to go and 1 timeout. Obviously, that will do it here. Georgia Tech will take knees to get it to the locker room.
There are 2 fouls, both by the kicking team. Offside, kicking team, number 97. That penalty is declined. Free kick out of bounds, kicking team. The ball be placed 5 yards from the out of bounds spot. First down.
I can live with the second one better than the first one. Could you imagine if they'd recovered the onside? Was what took away a really cool onside kick. Well, Georgia Tech, give them credit, 7-0, 4-0 in the ACC, and you mentioned the experience of a guy like Haynes King. Never appeared rattled in this game, even when their offense just was not working. And the Blue Devils, in some respects, deserve better over the balance of how they played, but in some respects, I think the phrase Manny Diaz used after Illinois, the architects of their own demise, and could probably say the same things this afternoon.
Yep.
As Haynes King will go under center. Not even sure if the Blue Devils will use their final timeout. As he takes the knee, they won't, and he'll have to do it one more time. The 92nd meeting in the series. Georgia Tech will now lead at 56, 35-1. And the Blue Devils will have lost 5 in a row at the hands of Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech fans assembled on the east side of the stadium celebrating, as you can hear in the background, as Haynes King will take one more knee. And the Yellow Jackets will improve to 7-0. 4-0 now they are atop the ACC standings. The Blue Devils fall in conference play for the first time. They are 3-1 and 4-3 overall. Disappointment this afternoon at home. We'll take a break. Blue Devils fall 27-18.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Hey, I'm Coach Manny Diaz with Duke Football. In football, preparation starts long before kickoff. By the time we get to game day, we are ready. If my players are injured, they need expert care fast. That's why we count on Duke Orthopedics for quick access to world-class care. And you can too. Whether you're cheering from the stands or tackling goals of your own, don't shoulder pain alone. Duke Orthopedics is ready when you are.
Orthopedic appointments within 48 hours. Duke Health is ready when you are. Visit DukeHealth48.com to schedule an orthopedic appointment.
Today's game is brought to you by Barbasol Shaving Cream. Why pay more for gels when Barbasol delivers an instant thick lather for a close, comfortable shave? Choose Barbasol, a quality shave and trusted value. This is the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield.
Think about the last time you moved. Remember how you said you'd never do it alone again? We know moving is tough, but at Two Men and a Truck, we make it easy. No matter the move, big or small, we'll make it a smooth one. We're the movers who care and will prove it with our 96% referral rate and courteous background check movers. We're local and affordable, and we can help at a price that won't make you wish you'd done it on your own. When you're ready, give us a call or find us online for a free estimate at twomenandatruck.com.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
There was flames on that ball.
The speed.
35-40. There he goes. Down the sideline.
Western College football.
For the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You can unhitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the bars. Back to the end zone. 30, 20. Say goodnight to this one.
This is the College Football Blitz. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
(27-18), the final score from Wallace Wade Stadium as the Blue Devils fall by 9 at the hands of number 12 Georgia Tech. Now 4-3 on the year, 3-1 in the ACC. On an afternoon, they had 441 yards of total offense, including 373 through the air. Darian Mensah, 32 of 44 and 2 touchdowns. Cooper Barkade had 13 catches for 172. It was Georgia Tech who made most of the key plays, particularly in the second half as they took a 10-all tie. The game was tied at 10 at the end of the third quarter and outscored the Blue Devils 17-8 in the final frame. The Blue Devils got the final touchdown to get the margin to 9, 27-18. David Shoemate alongside Dave Harding, and when you look at the flow of this game in the first half, it was in many respects total domination for Manny Diaz's bunch against Georgia Tech, but missed opportunities in the red zone, the story of this ball game. Their initial drive of the football game, they go down inside the 5, fumble. Georgia Tech returns it 95 yards for a touchdown. That was their their lone touchdown in the first half. The Blue Devils' next drive, a short field goal attempt. Awkward-looking handle on the snap, never got it off. And then they finally scored before halftime, but then they come out in the third quarter, march all the way down the field. First and goal at the 1, get stuffed 3 times, and then have a penalty when it looks like they're going to go for it on fourth down, have to settle for a field goal. At the time, a 10-7 lead. But this Georgia Tech offense that had been so prolific all year long found their footing in the second half, ended the game with 27 points. And Dave, as I bring you in, we both, I think, agree the story of this ball game is you're going to look back at those missed opportunities in the first half and miscues in special teams. The Blue Devils also missed a field goal in that fourth quarter. The story of this ball game.
Yeah, against a really, really talented and veteran team like Georgia Tech, you have to capitalize on the opportunities. And what's tough is that Duke had several of those and didn't seem to take advantage of any of them to jump out ahead. The play that I keep coming back to is the opening possession for Duke on offense. After the defense had stopped Georgia Tech to open the game, the Blue Devils marched down to the 5-yard line. That fumble, that'd be one thing. It'd be bad not to come up with points, but the fact that then Georgia Tech gets a touchdown of their own, Duke was scrambling to catch back up the rest of the way and never were able to put game pressure on Haynes King, the Georgia Tech quarterback, against a top 15 team with veteran leadership that's undefeated in conference play, undefeated on the season. You needed to take advantage of the chances that you had, and Duke just ultimately wasn't able to do that. Made tougher to swallow, given the fact that I thought Duke matched up really well with the Yellow Jackets. Very similar to the Illinois game, where when you look at, on a play-by-play basis, I think the vast majority of the plays Duke won, just not able to win the critical